How's it going, YouTube? This is Eric Abroad. I'm featuring my friend here. I want to introduce to you guys a good friend of mine. But first, I want to make sure the stream's actually going. It looks like it's going. So this is my friend Mike. Say hi, Mike.
What's going on, guys?
So I hope you guys can all hear me, Mike. Let's see. I have the chat room popped up here. This is the first official podcast where we're going to be going on a live stream. I haven't started, Mike. I forgot to start the Audacity, so we're gonna start that. You ready?
Yeah, I'm going right now too.
Okay, so I'm gonna start it right now.
We synced up pretty well there.
Yeah, I guess that works. So I'll just edit that out. So I'm just gonna start that intro again, I guess, Mike, and everyone's gonna watch us redo this awkwardly all over the internet. So here we go. I'm gonna play the intro music. So get ready. All right, guys, we're gonna do this one more time for the sake of the YouTube video. Here we go. Hey, how's it going, YouTube? This is Eric with the Erica Broadcast. This is the first ever Erica Broadcast where we're actually live. That's the wrong one. Hey, this is going to be. I just want to throw this out there right off the beginning. At the beginning here, right off the bat. This is going to be kind of, we're kind of winging this. This is my first time doing a live stream in this format. I've messed around with live streaming with like video games in the past, but that's a lot less strict, I guess. And this is a little bit more like we're recording to like 3 different programs and outputting to different things. So please bear with us if we have any technical difficulties. But I do hope that this tonight's stream is still entertaining. I still want to post this as a normal podcast. It's just that tonight it's going to be live and it's featuring a good friend of mine. So without further ado and all of that in the way, I guess I just wanted to put that out there as like a foreclosure or whatever, or I don't know, like a, how do I say, insurance towards the lack of quality of tonight's stream. But I'm really excited. It should be a lot of fun. It looks like we have some people in the chat. Let's go ahead and introduce my homie again. This is the second time we're doing this, I think, now. But this is my friend, my good friend Mike. Mike, can you like say who you are? I guess maybe how you know me and why you're here on the Erica Broadcast tonight. How are you related to Japan? What's your story?
All right, what's up, guys? My name's Mike Nowicki. Basically, I met Eric. It's been like a year ago now. Like back in Japan. I studied at Kansai Gaidai University, and that's when I found his channel and everything. We had a really weird like meetup. I think, like if I'm remembering it correctly, we had like the opening ceremony, and I think we like randomly walked like next to each other.
Yeah.
We sort of like crossed paths.
I remember it too.
And then we're like, yeah, right. And then like we just walked in together and sat next to each other. Yo, what's up, man? And I don't know, it was so fucking weird. And then there was that weird like ceremony they had with the weird dances. But I'm kind of just talking now. But yeah, I studied abroad last year, same time as Eric. And I mean, I guess in college before I was majoring in computer science, and then I kind of switched to filmmaking. And I've always sort of had a interest in Japan, sort of more of I like photography and stuff, filmmaking. So I always liked the architecture in Japan and kind of like the scenic views and everything, the way everything looks aesthetically and parts of the culture, the food. I'm really into it. And like Eric was talking about, like the last podcast about all the food and everything, I'm totally into it too. And yeah, Japan's great. It was a great time. And yeah, once I started watching the videos, once I met Eric, like I actually helped on one of them where we did the interview and everything. I do videos too. If you want to check out my YouTube channel, it's just Mike Nowicki.
Oh yeah, I need to plug your. I'd love to add like
Yeah.
your YouTube onto the stream here tonight. So I'll add that in like throughout, or I think I can add like a text source. So go ahead and keep talking.
Put in the
I'll try
link
to add
below,
that.
man.
They add, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I sort of do kind of travel videos. I sort of tried doing like vlogging for a little bit, and that didn't really stick with for a long time. But I just want to create things, and that's my main thing. And I'm also interested in Japan, so yeah. I love what you're doing with the podcast, and it's great to talk to you, man.
Dude, Mike, it's been a while. So you live in New York, right?
I live.
Not
I don't
really.
want to be the guy. Like I know, like how you say you're basically in Portland, but you're kind of outside of it.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
the
not
same
in
thing with
Portland.
me.
Yeah.
I'm like 30 minutes away from New York.
Mike, what is your YouTube account? Can you like spell it out for me? Like how would I
It's
spell it?
Mike. Yeah, it's Mike Nowicki.
Okay.
Mike
Nowicki.
space Nowicki.
So there's a space there or no?
Yeah. I mean, I don't. YouTube's fucking weird now. There used to be like usernames, but now it's like a name.
Like, is it weird that I put like your first and last name on the stream?
No, that's fine. I don't care.
All right. Now that I'm like thinking about my like I'm just listening to how this is going. I feel like this would not be interesting to listen to as just like a pot like I don't know, like watching the video is fun cuz it's like live and you can see what we're doing. I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah.
Is this am I thinking too much into it? Like if I was to pull this up on SoundCloud cuz I'm just like editing shit, I don't know. So here's I got you on there. Can you see that, Mike? Is that can you see that? I have your name just maybe it might not, I don't think you can see it yet, but I just put your name.
Yeah. There, there's
So
a delay.
this is weird.
So
Sorry guys,
there's a little delay. So
Okay.
I can't see it like right now, but
okay.
I'll let you know.
And I hope
Oh, it's in like the corner.
yeah, and even YouTube right now is telling me that I'm having like frame delays or something. So if you guys in the chat, could you guys just like shout out throughout the stream like, "Hey, it looks like shit. Hey, whatever." Can you guys do that because this is really live and we might not post this first one to I don't know. I just feel like if I was listening to this on SoundCloud like driving, I'd be like pissed off cuz like they can't see it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking too much about it.
No. We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
I'm looking
You're
too
thinking
much
too
into
much,
it.
man.
Well, thank you, Mike, for the intro. Like he said, basically, on like during the first week, basically, we both. He says it freezes a little bit, but it's overall fine. Is what they're saying in the stream. Cool, and so yeah, like he said, we studied together at a school in Osaka called Kansai Gaidai University, and during the first week, it's like. It sucks being a foreigner because they kind of have to chaperone you as if you're like children on a school field trip.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because they're kind of responsible for you and you're in a foreign country. So it's fucking, you know, you got to do all that. So the first week, it's kind of brutal. Like they put you in a dorm room with a bunch of other students. And every day you have to go to like different orientations and how to, I don't know, just like, you know, sign up for classes and all this shit, and you have to meet all these people and like figure out where the school is and like how to like buy food and all this stuff. So it's kind of a pain. And in the first week, we were walking to the open ceremony like for the official school thing, and Mike was standing next to me. And now in hindsight, so Mike is actually younger than I am. But at the time, he just the way he like looks and kind of his persona, I just thought he was this older guy. So I thought maybe it was someone I could like I don't know consult with and just be like, all right, like maybe this guy will help me out. I don't know. You just look cool because there's, you know, there's some strange people that were studying abroad there, and I was like, I don't know if I can connect with this guy, but this guy looks cool. So I hit you up and just like, hey man, I don't even remember what I said, but actually I remember like our first conversation. We were talking, and I was telling you that I'm doing like a homestay, and I was like, so what's your living situation? And you're like, oh man, like I got my own share house, like, or you bought your own house that you're like living in with like a few other students. Can you like talk about the share house?
Okay, so I also want to plug into from my interest in Japan was kind of also influenced by my brother. He actually studied abroad a year before me, same school, and he actually hooked me up with the share house. So I don't know for my college back in the States here. We have like a study abroad office or whatever, and there's actually people. I don't know if you got invited to it, but there was a group on Facebook, which is it's basically everyone that's studying abroad in like Kansai Gaidai,
Like
all the
before
international
school started.
students. Yeah, for Kansai Gaidai.
Oh,
Did you get like an invite there?
Okay, I mean, if I did, I must have denied it or something because I don't remember that.
Yeah, but it's literally every like international person that's studying abroad, and they all talk and stuff. And there's also a group that talks about housing, so it's probably labeled like Kansai. It was probably labeled Kansai Gaidai like 2016, 17 housing or some shit like that.
Right.
And basically, they have people talking on there of because there's people that are because I think the three different options of housing in Japan is the dorm rooms, which is what most people do in the it's kind of like small apartment houses but for all international kids, and then you could get like the homestay. You could do apartment or like a share house. So for the share house, you basically just get enough people, and kind of you need to have one person that can speak Japanese. So usually it's like a Japanese person, and you basically buy a house or rent out a house, and it was honestly pretty cheap. Like it was cheaper than the dorming fees, probably cheaper than the homestay too. It was like really really cheap. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's
I
one thing
remember
to
that
say
was the
that,
biggest thing
but
I was surprised about because I was asking you about it and you were just like, "Yeah, I'm living at this place and it's, X amount of money." And I was like, "Dude, that's cheaper than my homestay." And I'm like living with
yeah,
like,
like honestly, I think the rent is literally like $200 a month, which
wait,
is insane.
is that how
Yeah,
much it
like
really came down to? That cheap?
yeah, I remember I was always
Jesus.
giving like at least 200 a month
What about
because
like I was going to say
I
like what
remember
about like
I
expenses and shit like utilities and water and
so the only I think everything was included besides electricity and the heat. So I remember
okay.
heat was probably like 18 bucks. $20 is usually like around the normal heat bill
Okay.
and electric bill. So I guess like you would say like $250 is probably pretty reason like the amount
That's
that was probably
so
every
cheap.
month. Which compared to like because I live next to New York and renting like a tiny ass room is like 1,000 something dollars, which is
Yeah,
crazy.
easily.
So it's like it was super convenient too because I live next to a train station. In Japan, the trains are like basically your way of transportation, and I live literally like walking down the street, like you know.
Yeah. Yeah, he lived really close to a station that I took every day to get to school. So there'd be days where I'd get maybe out of class early or something and I could just on my way home or on my way to school, I could literally walk to his house. And basically he was, yeah, like he said, he was living with other students that were studying abroad. There was one girl there that was a Japanese student. And when he first told me this, I was super jealous because I'm like, dude, like you have your own fucking house. I had signed up personally for a homestay, which I don't regret. I like compared to living in the dorms. There's nothing better. Like it was for me because I wanted to learn the language and really immerse myself and try new foods and things like that. It was great. I definitely recommend if you have to choose between the dorms and the homestay. I please do the homestay. I mean, it's not for everyone, so you don't have take my advice with a grain of salt, or it might not apply to you. But yeah, and so Mike had his own house, and he's telling me he's like, yeah, I'm paying like 200 a month for it, and I'm like, holy shit, dude, we can like throw parties, like this is gonna be sick. Like, well, he could, like it's his house, but I was kind of thinking like, oh fuck, I need to, I need to hang out with this guy because that could be a good thing. And
Yeah,
yeah,
I think basically like there's reasons that you want a homestay. There's reasons that you want to do an apartment. To me, I felt that since I wasn't completely like majoring in Japanese and I wasn't crazy like I wanted to learn the language, but it wasn't like my passion to learn the language. And like I could see like that you want to learn Japanese, you find it like super like fun, super interesting shit. And like you're into that. And I'm also into it, not as much as you, and like I'm not about to like major into it. So I still wanted to immerse myself in basically Japan. I don't want to be stuck in like a dorm room because I remember even in the school ceremony how our professors, like the professors at the school, were talking about like remember when the one professor we had, Barry, I think Professor Barry, he
yeah,
literally
yeah, yeah,
did
yeah,
this
yeah, yeah, yeah.
speech. Oh my God, he did this speech,
Dude,
and
his
he was
speech was
like,
sick.
yeah,
His
dude,
speech was
he was like,
sick.
dude, he was like the strangest looking guy walking up to the mic, he's like this old guy. He looks like Albert Einstein or something. And he literally walks up there, gives his speech. He's like, and he got emotional and like angry. He's like, if
Dude,
you're gonna stay in your dorm room and not experience this country, you're losing everything. You're paying all this money for nothing.
dude,
And he went in,
that
and
shit
everyone was like,
rang.
holy shit.
That shit rang such a bell for me, and like it was exactly my mentality, and I think yours as well. It was like,
Oh yeah,
we're going to Japan. We're gonna explore this shit. We're not just gonna find ourselves like in our rooms watching TV. Like we're going
yeah,
out. We're
man.
exploring. We're gonna get lost. We're trying new foods. We're gonna have good and bad experiences, but they'll be experiences. We're gonna live. And
That's
yeah,
what it's all about, man.
and this,
That's what
yeah,
it's
like
all
like
about.
Mike said, the professor came up and he's just this old dude and he kind of comes up and everyone thought he was the last guy, I think, too. So by this
Yeah, yeah,
by
it
this
was.
point, everyone's all like burnt out and everyone's just like, fuck, dude, I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Everyone's all burnt out. They've heard all these like boring, like generic, like, welcome to our country. We hope that you experience a new culture in Japan, and everyone claps. So this guy comes up. I'm like, oh my god, Luke, he just fucking kill me. And he comes up and he's like, you know, a lot of people come to Japan, but not everyone experiences Japan. And that was like his opening line. And I'm like, oh shit, who is this guy?
Oh,
And
shit.
yeah, long story short, like Mike already said, he already said his thing. But basically, he was like criticizing people that don't
Yeah.
like they go and study abroad, or they go abroad, but they bring American snacks with them to eat, so they don't have to eat foreign. There's
Yeah.
people that do that. They'll bring like snack
Hmm.
packs and shit,
Yeah.
and
Their
like
parents get
Pringles.
sent like a care package.
Yeah, and which is fine. Like, I mean, for me, I was going away for a year, so I had a care package. I had some like different alcohols. I had some different like candy, and
Yeah.
I guess that's basically it. But basically, just some things like that I could kind of like, if I'm feeling homesick, I could be like, oh, and like get like a big one is fucking gum. Look at this. I still have it. Check this out. I seriously have like 6 of these still. No, Trident, if you're looking to sponsor a vlogger or someone who loves Japan, consider Eric Abroad and the Eric Broadcast, because this gum is the fucking fire, and it's the best gum ever made. So I brought like seriously like 25 of these to Japan with me. This was my one thing, because this gum is the fire. And people are saying the stream's frozen. Is it frozen, guys? There's gonna be a delay. Frozen. Sorry,
People
we're gonna have
saying
to. I'm gonna be like interrupting. Frozen. I don't know, but I can change like the bandwidth and shit if we need to. But I have it at 2500 right now. It should be good. I lost my train of thought. Yeah, basically like a care package. Oh, they're saying it's not frozen. Great. Yeah, basically just. I mean, he was Professor Barry. I don't think he works there. I think he retired that year because the school. We could talk about Kansai Gaidai for a while, dude. The school like department like took a shit even after you left. It went even further. Like a lot of the teachers fucking left, and Barry was one of them. I think he retired.
Really?
And he's like, yeah, and he has like a
God.
PhD in Asian studies, and like it's crazy.
Yeah.
But he was a professor so it was funny that we heard that speech from him, and later on, both Mike and I just happened to sign up for the same class together. So we had a class with that professor, and he was kind of a snooze, actually, like in hindsight. Like once we got into the class,
definitely.
he was like, just the way he talked, it was like, dude, like you need to go like to bed. You just sound tired. And but he said something just like, yeah, in that first speech, basically just like taking a shit on everyone that doesn't. And I don't want to like beef. Maybe there's some people here who studied abroad and maybe live like that, or you're that kind of person. I'm not trying to like make you feel bad. But it just really resonated with both Mike and I, because we were both in that mindset as well with that professor, like almost 100%. Just like that's exactly it. I want to be. I'm here. I want to experience it all. I'm ready. I'm ready to like I don't know. So that was a cool thing, and so that was where we first met, and someone's saying, I'm looking. Okay, I'm gonna take like just a 2-second break, Mike, just to look at the chat, because it's kind of blowing up, and people are like, "Why isn't he responding to us?" So, hey guys, how's it going, chat? Hey, another thing too. This is hilarious.
Let's try to respond to some people, like see if this is like synced up.
So as we were starting the stream, we had about 10 minutes, and I thought I had everything set up. Something crashed on the program I'm using. It's OBS. And I lost the ability to capture the chat room. For some reason, it was showing before, and then it came up as just like a black box. So I don't really want to spend too much time troubleshooting it like live with you guys, because it's just a waste of time. But maybe like for ones in the future, basically I'm pointing on the camera right here. I want to put like the chat room, like underneath whoever the guest is, basically. So I don't know. I'm sure someone's going to post the advice, and I'm just going to miss it because the chat's going really fast. So thank you guys for watching. Taking a few seconds. People are saying the video is slower than the chat. What's up, Eric? Love from Malaysia. What's up? You should talk about what Japanese teachers are like. Okay, we can do that. Does YouTube streaming works the same as Twitch? Yes, it works the same as Twitch with OBS to my knowledge. You just change the setting from Twitch to YouTube instead. You could do a screen region, but it takes a second to set up. Yes, you can do a screen region in the old OBS, but I have the new one, and it's not working. There's my friend.
It's weird, man. You have to put like the X and Y points, and it's really annoying. I don't know.
Yeah. So a few more shout outs. Let's see. What's up, Eric? What's up, Dale Stephenson? What's up, man? Love from Malaysia.
I see you, Ant.
Rizal. Is Anthony in the chat?
Yeah, I see him.
Wait, really? What's his Skype? Wait, what's his name? Where is it? Oh, I see one. Eric, do you watch hentai? Ant. So we have another homie who is not with us. He's no longer with us. No, he's not in the chat tonight. But we'll get him maybe on the next one. Sorry, Ant. Just me and Mike tonight.
Yo, I say we pick up what that guy asked, talk about some Japanese teachers. I think that's a good
Yeah,
idea.
that's good. Hi from London from Timmy. Did you get a Rift yet? Touch, Silent Spirit? No, I have not purchased the new VR stuff. I want to get the Vive, the HTC Vive from the Steam one. That shit looks fire.
About to
Shout out to
drop
my
800 on
friend.
that.
Shout out to my friend Kazu from Kansai Gaidai. He's actually in the chat. He's typing in Japanese right now, and he's a good homie of mine that's actually going to be visiting next month. So what's up, Kazu? Good to see you, dude. Yeah, I have the new OBS, dude. It's terrible. Don't do it. Just don't. Also, you inspired me to. Okay, so Gavin says, Eric, you inspired me to finish my study abroad application next fall after hearing you say that winter semester was really boring. Congratulations, Gavin, because you just dodged yourself a bullet, my friend. You are now, yes, if you go in the winter, that's when all the Japanese students are not there. Or at least in my experience. Yeah, that's what it was. Their winter break is basically like our summer break. They go home for like months, and this school sucks. And or like because there's no students there. Mike, you weren't there. Mike was there for the first semester in the fall, so we had a
Yeah,
blast,
I
and
was in
that
the
was when it
fall.
was fun. It was really fun. I had fun in the second semester, of course. I was still in Japan. I had a good time. I did things to keep myself occupied, but it wasn't until like the last month that kids showed up. So like I literally was just trying to find shit to do. Um, anyways, Mike, like you said, uh, did you have a Japanese? Let's do a few. We're the Mike. You're gonna jump on the Japanese teacher one.
Okay,
And
okay.
in just a second, um, someone Noah asks Eric, "Did I have a girlfriend?" I mean, I'm not gonna go into details with that, but I had friends that were females that I had relationships with. I suppose I could say we didn't really date. I had a couple girls that I wanted to date, but I just knew that I was coming back to America, so I didn't want to like start dating and leave. And I knew it wasn't that serious, so it was kind of just like, well, I'm down to have fun and like hang out, but yeah. So that was basically that. Japanese class a good thing. Japanese class a great thing. Someone asked something in Japanese. Nihon ni ryugaku shita mai nihongo benkyou shita koto atta no. I think this looks like an American typing in Japanese, but yes, I studied Japanese for 1 year before I went. But that being said, it didn't help. Well, it helped like with writing, but I couldn't speak for shit, like at all. I showed up and I couldn't speak. Like I mean, I thought I could, and then I like showed up and was like, oh shit, I can't. So sorry, Mike. Just had to take like five. I think like every like 20 minutes we'll just hop over to the chat because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't want to exclude you
Got
guys,
it.
and this is why I wanted to add it here so you guys can at least see yourselves. You can say like hi mom or like hi YouTube and get on there. So I really apologize. I really do. And I promise to set it up. Maybe if someone like types like a really easy solution, but a lot of people are cringing at the word new OBS. So I think that's just the problem. It's just really bad. Um,
Yep.
Yep. So that being said, thank you guys for all the comments. I appreciate. I can't really see them all as we're going, but this is kind of live. So Mike, we're gonna answer a question. What were Japanese teachers like in Japan? What were yours like? Because I could go on for a bit. I have a couple stories, good
Yeah,
and bad.
so I'll start it off. So, I mean, you obviously are higher in Japanese in level wise than me. So, I was in like literally the level 1 of reading and writing and spoken. So, before Japan, I guess it's also a good thing to say. Like before Japan, I studied literally up to katakana,
So you had
which is
hiragana down.
basically yeah. So I knew hiragana, katakana I didn't know, but I started. So literally, I only had hiragana to like my knowledge. So in level 1, we kind of just learned hiragana, katakana, and a little bit of kanji. So we learned about like 150 kanji.
Right.
So basically, I I don't know why I did this, but after because we were learning hiragana, I knew it. I was like really fucking bored, and my teacher like went really slow through it. And honestly, like the people learning are like people that have no clue at all about anything, and it was just like a snore to me. So I literally, while everyone was learning hiragana, I basically learned katakana in like probably 2 days. I did all of them and I wrote them and I remembered them all. And I don't know why I did that. So I started like after learning katakana, it's weird because you're walking around and you see katakana words, which just means basically like It's like
Foreign words,
the how do you say the word? Yeah,
like a
it's
like an
basically
or an
American words.
onomatopoeia, right?
Yeah, yeah. So you can kind of understand words that are like outside now. So I'm seeing like these like hiragana and katakana and stuff. I'm like, oh, and I'm learning like the what no means and like te, the different prefixes and stuff. And after I kind of forgot all the kanji I learned already. So I only know like
Kanji are
different
hard.
directions and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's really hard. But
yeah.
the teachers for the most part were super like pretty nice. I had I don't know if you know, I don't know what teachers you had. Do you remember like the names?
The first one was oh god, okay, it's Tokashiki, because I only
Okay.
know that because she's one of the authors of one of the textbooks I have.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then the other
She's
one I
like of the
forgot his
Genki
name.
book, right?
Yeah. It's
Oh,
yeah, Tokashiki. Yeah, so it's Kyo. If anyone's looking for like a professor specifically, it's this one. It's well, the camera's kind of shitty, you can't really see it, but it's Kyoko Tokashiki. Tokashiki was my professor, and she was one of the writers of this book, which is pretty cool. Um, she was good. She was great. In that she was like what you'd expect of a Japanese teacher, just like a strict lady. Like she was just this
uh-huh.
strict
Yeah,
woman, but it was great. Like it was good because it was like you fuck up and she's like that's wrong. Like, but it wasn't like just that. She'd be like that's wrong. This is how you do it. I'm like, oh, thank you.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Boom, and you remember because it was so like aggressive. Not like she wasn't mean. She was just strict. But a strict teacher is a good teacher. She said that like on the first day. She was like, people say
Yeah.
I'm strict, but and then in Japanese she's like, Kibishi sensei wa ii sensei desu yo. It's like a strict sensei is a good sensei. I'm like, oh shit. The second semester I had this guy. He was nice. I forget his Komukura. I don't know. I forgot his name. That's how much I didn't really like care for him. He was nice, but he was like a pushover and a chump kind of like we in Japanese we would call him kamo, which kamo can either mean duck, but it can also be a slang word which means kind of just like kind of like a pushover, like a guy who's maybe like gullible or a chump or the friend who always like buys
Yeah,
like, hey dude, spot me, and the guy's like okay, and he buys it for you, and he never that's they say kamo. So and then in the like Kansai Ben, you'd throw yan at the end and be like kamo yan. So be like the sense of a kamo yan. So you'd say that about the teacher. He was kamo, and he was basically just like, for example, the reason that's bad is because like someone would make a mistake and he wouldn't correct it. He would just praise them like someone would say something, they'd make a mistake, and he'd go, "Oh, subarashi, subarashi, okay, tsugi, tsugi,"
Oh, that's not good.
and you're like, "Wait, but they fucked up." And like there was,
Yeah.
maybe I would say something in a way, like in a broken grammar that I know is probably not right, and he doesn't correct it at all. So I'm like, "Okay, did I do it wrong? I don't even know." And he'd go to the next
Yeah.
person, and me, like, I'm not like fluent, but at this point, like, I'm skilled enough, I guess, to where I would notice like a mistake, and
Yeah.
the person would say the mistake, and he'd go, "Oh, subarashi, ho ho," and then like just go to the board and like move on, and I'm like, dude, he fucked up. Like, aren't you gonna correct that? And so for me, it was annoying because I didn't learn anything. Like, and I mean, I learned some things obviously, but I didn't learn from him. I learned from like
Yeah.
the lessons like in the textbooks, but he wouldn't teach me, and it was
It's
just
like
like
you had to teach yourself basically.
yeah. So I was, and because the second semester, if you guys listen, I did a podcast before where I mentioned, the fuck, um, uh, sorry, I read a comment and someone's like, "I'm so bored," and it just got to my head. Fuck. Sorry, that's the hard thing with this chat is it's like you have to like
Fuck,
pick and
Aaron.
choose. I gotta pick and choose my battles. I'm sorry, it's boring, Aaron. I'm sorry. No, I don't really give a shit. Yes, I lost my train of thought, but basically, yes, during that second semester, I had a lot more free time because there wasn't any like Japanese students at the school. So, and because my teacher wasn't teaching me, I instead used that time to study on my own and travel and to try to consult with other Japanese students about stuff. But it was hard, There's only so much you can do on your end
Yeah.
without
And
someone like making you do it because you just some days you're not in the mood and you're just like, oh,
yeah,
I guess.
yeah.
And then you realize like you go to bed and you're like, I didn't learn shit today. And you're just like, fuck.
Yeah.
So,
Like my teachers were like pretty like strict and stuff, but I think maybe since it was like level 1, they had where they're like obligated to actually like correct people and like make them do the correct pronunciation.
right.
I think that's yeah. So, I mean, most of the teachers are great. I just have one really funny story.
All right,
You,
let's hear it.
you remember Rob? You remember Rob?
I remember Rob.
So, Rob's this kid. He's like this huge kid. We used to all hang out in the same group and stuff.
He's cool.
And he was in my class. We're both in level 1, and we
Oh, was he in
like
level 1
in,
with
you know
you?
in
I didn't know that.
class in class and stuff they do like these like group they do like teams and stuff, and you do like the naming, like
Right.
you whoever names like the right word and stuff, and like matching. And so Rob's team lost, and Rob was the one that like lost like the point for them basically.
Okay.
And the teacher was like, Rob, do push-ups. And like he's like, what? Push-ups? And then like, dude, the teachers like made him do 10 push-ups for losing. Dude, he fucking got on the floor and did 10 push-ups.
I
And dude,
actually remember this story because
I,
everyone was
I have a
everyone was
video
talking about
somewhere.
it. They're like, dude, how are
Dude,
those
it
push-ups,
was
Rob? He's like, fuck you guys.
it was fucking legendary.
That's hilarious. That's fucking hilarious. Yeah, we basically had like a small crew of guys. Me, Mike. Let's see who else. It was like Anthony, Rob, and then from the that was probably like the
Me,
core. But then
Mitch.
from the and then like Yasir was cool. Basically just a bunch of other foreign students, but we kind of like came together. That sounds I'm
Yeah.
making it weird. You know what I mean? We were homies, and but we hung out a lot. And then in the second semester, like almost none of you guys were there, so that was a
Yeah.
bummer for me. But we had the first semester was fucking fun, and yeah, I don't know, good shit.
Yeah, dude.
I wish I could see Rob doing
All
push-ups
right.
over.
People are asking me if I'm from Alaska. I'm not from Alaska. I'm from New Jersey.
Why would they ask that?
I don't know.
Is there like
I'm
a
looking
thing?
Alaska.
Does he look like stereotypically Alaskan? That he's got a sweater on, he's sipping a beer. Actually, I might
Super
go to
cold.
get, dude. It's Sunday. Okay, so I have
Yeah,
next
go
week.
ahead. I'm gonna take a question.
You're gonna take a question. All right, guys. I'm gonna throw on the Jeopardy
I
music,
say go for it.
and I'm gonna go
Wait,
grab
I
a
gotta take
drink.
question.
Actually, because this is the live stream. This is funny, dude. The podcast is basically a watered down, much easier to edit and much less effort version of my vlog channel. Which it's all the same channel, but you know what I mean, like my normal vlog videos, which I will be doing, by the way, guys. Christmas break's coming up. I have a few that I'm gonna be doing. And then this is even lazier than that because we're just like winging this, and I'm typing as we go here. Yeah. So I have finals next week, but tonight is my last night to like just do nothing. Starting tomorrow is gonna be like I have to write a paper and shit. So I guess I'm allowed to have a beer tonight. So I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna throw down the Jeopardy theme and let Mike. I guess he's gonna hang out in the chat for a bit. So go ahead, Mike.
Yeah. All right. Anyone got any questions or anything? Anyone? Come on, come on. Oh, Jesus. We literally were so stressed before putting this, like, getting this live. Everything was going wrong, man. My computer was exploding. Everything was going crazy. I'm not Alaskan. I look Alaskan. I'm not Alaskan. Um, Here, let me see. This question by Gavin. Eric, I know in his one podcast and video, he said that he made Kansai Gaidai seem like this crazy place. And honestly, I had a great time in Kansai Gaidai, and I don't know why. I think maybe it had to do with him being a higher level in Japanese. So I think maybe he was there more for like serious classes and not having like the professors that like wouldn't really teach like to their full potential and stuff. So maybe that's why he thought it was a little less crazy, or he thought it was crazy. But I don't know. I had a good time. You know, it was a really international school. It's a pretty good school. They have a great program. It's like an exchange program. If you're basically going to college and they're linked up, then basically you just pay your tuition, and it's a pretty good deal. All right, let's see what else we got over there. Right now it is what time? It's like
Dude, you got some questions.
8:30 right now. Yo, I don't even know how to answer all these questions. There's like a million.
Dude, sick. Yeah, you got fucking. Did you already answer your favorite
I'm trying,
food?
man.
Did you already answer your favorite food?
I did not answer my favorite food. No,
Mike, what's your
there's like a
favorite
million,
food in
man.
Japan, Mike? What is your favorite food, Mike?
All right. See, that could be like a bunch of different things though, because I'd say like a specific like restaurant or something. Or okay, I have to do like a top 3 favorite foods. So number 1 is gonna be ramen. The ramen was
I agree.
fucking crazy.
I
Like
agree.
everywhere you go to get ramen, I think is probably gonna be good. My favorite place is probably tomato ramen. they had this place in Hirokata, is like randomly in the middle of the fucking town, and you go there and you get tomato ramen. It's tomato soup, 10 times better, with fucking ramen noodles. It was amazing.
Dude, let's take 5
So,
minutes and discuss the tomato ramen right
dude,
now.
yes,
Holy
I think that's a good
shit.
idea.
Can you break down like okay, like how did you showed it to me, I think. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. So,
How take a sip of that. And oh yeah,
wait,
by
no,
the way,
no,
let me just
let's.
throw out my other sponsorship. Hi, I'm drinking a tall, delicious, terrible Pabst Blue Ribbon. It's won the Blue Ribbon Award, whatever that is. Yeah, sorry, this is all I had in my fridge. It's a little embarrassing, but I don't know. Portland hipsters like beer, so we are like PBR, so PBR sells here like really cheap, so I buy it all the time. But Mike,
Cue the soundboard.
which soundboard do we do? I don't even
The,
uh
the,
oh, oh, the screaming one. Yeah, this is the
yeah.
best beer we have in Portland. Yeah, that worked.
All right, all
Mike
right.
and I also we wanted to get a lot more sound effects ready. Again, I apologize. This is less prepared than I had hoped,
Yeah,
but
I
I'm
was
still having a
saying
lot
how
of
we're.
fun.
I
Yeah,
was saying how we're stressing,
we
but
oh you were dude weird. I was like
yeah.
fuck. I was like fuck and like freaking out because it's like everyone in the chat was like going and I accidentally turned on the stream early. It was bad.
Shit.
So anyway, sorry about that.
All right,
Go ahead, Mike. How did you find that place, by the way?
dude. Honestly, I'm trying to. Wasn't it when I went with you? Like with when we went with my roommate
Wait,
and we all
is
hung
this
out
what?
that one day?
This is when we went with Chi we went with Chi and
And
Guy
and Mark Bar.
and yo.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
I want to throw this
Yeah.
out. I'll throw this out right now, Mike. You have full permission. You don't have to like
To
be
go all
like
out.
you don't have to. Well, okay,
Oh shit.
and it's up to you.
Oh shit.
Yeah, because this is a guy that studied abroad with us that we are not fond of, and we talk shit about him all the time. But I don't like to like it's just negative. I
Yeah.
don't like to just shit on people. I don't like to put out
Yeah,
just bad,
man.
especially on the internet. It's like I don't want to just like make people's days
We're
worse. I want to make
positive
them
people,
better.
man.
Yeah. So, but this guy was was a particular kind of piece of shit to us. And he showed up that night, right? Wasn't he like? So basically, let's
Yeah.
break down Mark Bar. So basically. So tonight's podcast is called Storytime with Mike and Eric, and we're just gonna swap off telling stories as they come because, dude, all these memories
And
kind
taking
of
questions from the chat
and
because I
taking
know people
questions.
are getting
Maybe in the
antsy.
future we'll be able to do Skype. Next, we're gonna take in the next caller, and we'll get in live questions from a phone call. That'd be fucking cool. Marcus. I don't even know his real
Okay.
name. Marcus Guy. This was a guy. Let's go back a little bit. So basically, at the beginning of this podcast, Mike and I were explaining how we met during the first week, the orientation. There was another individual. His name was Marcus. He was a tall black fella, really nice, and he was kind of funny and outgoing. And I consider myself kind of loud and outgoing. So I approached him and I was like, "What's up, dude?" Introduced myself. He seemed pretty cool. I was asking him about his Japanese studies. He's like, "Oh, I've been studying." He says, "Oh my god," he said this. He goes, "Oh, I've been studying Japanese for 10 years," and I'm like, for me, I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like, let's go. Like, because at that point I'd only been studying for like a year, maybe a year and a half. So I'm looking for people that can help me. I'm trying to like network and like I want to be able to study with people. So he's like, "Oh yeah, I've been studying for 10 years." Or no, he said he's been studying the culture for 10 years and the language for 5. So I figured this guy's, I'm like, "Dude, are you like fluent?" He's like, "I'm pretty good." And I'm like, "Shit, dude, that's awesome. Like, let's hang out or whatever." And then very quickly we realized that he was not as cool as he was made out to be. It's hard to explain though. It's one of those situations
Dude, I can fucking explain perfectly, all right?
Go ahead. If you have an
So,
explanation, go ahead.
This changed my whole fucking mind about this kid. So I met this kid, I saw him, and like he would always like go up to random people and say like hi and stuff. And he went up to me and like I was like, "Oh, yo, what's up, man?" It was like the normal talking, and I remember he was in my dorm because the first week you had to dorm, and he was in my dorm, and everyone was like, still trying to like figure out like who's like friends and stuff and trying to like talk to people, and we all like the dorm houses would go on like trips together, and I remember one time we all went to like the mall or something, and I remember you knew him before me,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you like I was like, oh, do you know this kid? Like when we were like finally hung out one time, like we never hung out together with him, but like I remember I was with you and I was like, yo, you know this kid Mark? Or like and you're like, dude, I fucking hate this kid. He's like, dude, he's like, I don't hate you're like, I don't hate a lot of people, but this fucking kid, I fucking hate him. And I was like, dude, what do you mean? Like, come
I
on.
love how accurate that quote is too. That's not off
Yeah.
at all. It's exactly how I
And
was gonna say it.
and and we're in the mall, right? And like then when we all meet in the mall and everything, and you were there too. And I was,
Yeah.
dude, how can you like hate him? Like he seems like a cool guy. I guess like I'll watch out or whatever. Dude, I don't know what happened. Everyone's split up and everything. Like people are going like the movie, people are going back, and I still wanted to like explore and stuff.
Yeah.
And the only kid that wanted to explore was him.
Yeah.
And like I kind of just like, all right, yeah, let's go somewhere. And
Yeah.
dude, he literally and like you fucking left me with him, man. You're like, dude, I'm not fucking hanging out with him. And you like
This
went
was at
to
the
see, like, a
mall, right?
movie
This was
with
at the
some
mall.
girl.
Dude, I literally picked, this sounds really mean, but I picked like my last resort girl and invited her to a movie just so I could get away from Marcus. I know that's fucked. I know that is fucked. And I don't even like deny it. It was fucked.
No, no,
like
no,
I
I'm
literally,
telling you.
she was kind of like talking to me and I'm like, hey, you want to go see a movie? Because I do not want to be around this guy anymore. He fucking sucked.
But dude, once you left me with him, I fucking understood. He fucking
Right?
talked about his whole life. He's been studying for 10 years. He's been a fucking break dancer. His
He basically,
telling
the
me, like,
reason people hate him is he's really full of himself. Like really, he's got a big ego that shouldn't exist. Like
yeah,
it shouldn't.
so literally
I mean-
the whole time I was like, he's like, yeah, so what are you like? What are your hobbies and stuff? And I'm like, yeah, you know, I take like pictures and stuff. Like, I like video and like movies and shit. And he's like, dude, I'm trying to like start this movement, man. Like, you know, I don't tell a lot of people this. We're like sitting on a bus, right? Like
Yeah.
together, we're going home.
Yeah.
And like, he's like, you know, my dad, like, me and my dad aren't on good terms and stuff. And, you know, he kind of left my mom. And I'm just trying to, like, you know, I'm trying to do it in life. And like,
What does
he
that
was
mean?
just talking so much weird shit and like about his whole life and shit. I'm like, yeah, I'm just sitting there like taking it all. I'm like, dude, I can't listen to this anymore. And basically, like, I don't know. He's just a fucking show off, and it's annoying. I don't know how to explain.
People ask like, why do you hate him? It's because he's a show off. And I know this sounds like it's one of those like, oh, you're just jealous of him kind of things. It's like really, if you met this
Yeah.
guy, you know exactly what I mean. It's like, it was literally like, for example, when we were at the mall together and we had a group of like 15 foreigners all together, and I'm like, you know, I wasn't really friends with a lot of them, but I was just like, I'm trying to have fun. I'm trying to meet people, so let's go ahead. And like Mike said, yeah, we went to like this arcade and people started splitting up. I went to the movies because fucking the whole time, it's one of those guys like in the group where no matter what's happening, he has to one up it. Like, for example, like even if it's a bad thing, someone will be like, oh, dude, I have so much homework tonight. And he'd be like, oh, dude, you don't even know. I have like a pile like this high, dude. It's gonna be crazy, dude. Oh, that's how he talked. He goes, oh, it's crazy, dude. I have so much homework though. And I'm like, okay. And then people,
It sounds like fucking like Shaggy from fucking Scooby Doo, man.
Scooby Doo.
Look, man.
And I couldn't be around it for more than like, you know, it took me time. At first I was like, this guy's cool. After a couple days, I was
Yeah.
like, all right, this guy's kind of annoying, but like not really.
Yeah.
And then by like a week, I was like, fuck this guy. And by that point, it was at the mall when I actually told myself like, fuck this guy, I'm done. And so I ditched you guys, and I did. I just there's nothing to it. I ditched, and then
Thank you.
yeah, later on, that's how we met. So and his nickname is, I guess we don't have to go into Mark Bar, but he had a nickname
Dude,
called
no,
Mark
alright.
Bar. Do you want to explain it? I guess it's just
Dude,
it was
okay,
the
yeah.
ice
So,
cream.
dude,
The ice cream.
So we're all sitting together. No, we went to the fucking Hirokata station, right? So there's this fucking big station, has like this underground underpass and everything. It's cool. We all go there to hang out sometimes.
That was cool. That was cool.
And basically, we're standing in front of this convenience store, and we're all together for some reason at this point. And he's like, "Yo, what's your favorite food, man?" And we like tell him like all this like random stuff, like I don't know, I say ramen or something, Eric says something else like takoyaki or something. And dude, he goes straight to like the convenience store. He's like, "Dude, come here." He goes straight to the convenience store. He goes in the fucking ice cream case and he pulls out, I don't know what it's fucking called, dude. He pulls out this fucking candy bar. It's $1. No, it's $1 ice cream bar.
I want to show the photo.
And dude, from there, dude, Mark Bar.
Mark Bar. He walked in. He's like, dude, this is the most fire ice cream you'll ever have in your life. It's so good. Only in Japan. boom, it's this blue like dollar ice cream bar.
Yo,
And I
and we believed them at first. We're like, oh shit, yo, maybe I gotta try this. And
Yeah.
dude, you got it, and like you sort of faked that you like liked it, and you're like, yeah,
Dude,
man,
it was the
it's
most
pretty good.
basic. It was the most basic ice cream popsicle I've
Yeah,
ever had.
and
in
then
my
you
life.
told me you're like, dude, this shit is so bad. What the fuck? It's like there's no flavor. It tastes like nothing.
Dude, yeah, it was like a watered down popsicle. It was like those
Yeah.
popsicles that you buy from the ice cream man for 50 cents, like the cotton candy and the bubble gum, the ones that are actually good. Take that and like remove like 80% of the flavor and sell it for
Dude.
$1. And that's the Mark bar. So we started calling that the Mark bar. Like, oh dude, I'm
Yeah.
about to get some Mark bars, dude. I need to get some Mark bars just as a joke. And then his name eventually just turned into Mark Bar. So just now we were about to tell the story about when we met Mark Bar at ramen. That's why his name's Mark Bar. So that's Mark. And he liked to call himself Guy, like from Street Fighter. That guy was weird.
Was it from Street Fighter or was it from like Naruto?
Is that a
So I remember
thing?
in
I don't
fucking-
watch
yeah, I
watch
think in Nar-
Naruto. Is that a thing?
I watched fucking like the old ass Naruto when I was looking younger,
Right.
and there's like the Guy. And I think that's what it was.
Was that his name in
Fucking-
Japanese? The Japanese version? Guy?
I
Guy.
have no idea.
What the-
Guy.
Is that a
Nah,
thing?
I have
don't know.
no idea, dude.
So fucking
And
Guy.
dude, he used to wear like, he used to wear this hat, man. Dude, I remember. Oh shit, sorry. I remember I had the fucking beanie that said like that random Japanese on it.
Let's just take a moment to appreciate your pop filter holder. Can you explain
Yeah,
that?
yeah, I don't
No,
know.
I'm not
I
making
don't
fun of
really-
it. It's just awesome.
I don't want to go into it. It's a coat hanger, some weird thing I picked up at some craft store, and
So that
it's a
explains
pop
it.
filter.
Because
So
people,
it
are going,
works, I don't
people
know.
are going to be like, why is his thing like weird?
It's so janky.
It's because it's literally jank.
It's DIY.
DIY. Yeah, so that was good. But
yeah.
basically, let's go back to the ramen. It was basically this. Mike found this spot. So that was your first time too when we went with Chi.
Yeah. That was the first time.
It's this place in
Dude,
Osaka, and I guess I could recommend it. Like if you're ever in the area, you probably will never be because it was near the school. But it's called Tomako, like tomato, but with the last T removed, like Tomako. And they specialized in this type of ramen that is the soup base was made out of like tomato. So it was kind of like it was almost like eating like SpaghettiOs, but replace the SpaghettiOs, just keep the sauce. But it's like obviously much better than SpaghettiOs. But it's that kind of like flavor with like ramen noodles and like a poached egg on top and like some meat inside. And oh my god, dude.
Dude,
It was the best ramen.
fucking part. The
was
best
so
fucking
good.
part. You have the soup, and like at the end of it, you have a little bit left. They give you a rice bowl with a fucking half-cooked egg, and you put it in, and you fucking mix it all together.
Dude.
And oh my
I did it every
fucking
time.
god.
It's kind of a
insane.
known thing in Japan. Like you're not supposed to, after you eat the ramen, which is like the noodles itself, you're not really supposed to drink the soup afterwards because it's just sodium basically. It's just like, fatty, and like that's true for like top ramen and stuff too. You're just supposed to eat the noodles.
Yeah.
You get the flavor on the noodles as you're eating it, but then ditch the stuff because it's not good for you. And yeah, basically
Tastes
it was that good that one we were willing not only just to like drink it, but we ordered more food, mixed it in, and ate it because it was so fire. And that was the tomato ramen. So we talk about tomato ramen all the time because I found a pretty good contender though, Mike. I'll admit. The second semester when you guys left, I went on a personal quest in downtown Osaka. I was literally like, I'm going out today. I'm gonna walk without like any GPS, nothing. I'm gonna find a restaurant. And no matter how scary it is, I'm walking in and I'm ordering food. I'm paying for it and I'm leaving because it was kind of scary.
I fucking did the same thing.
Yeah.
And I went to eat ramen.
Really? And it's good, right?
And I'm not gonna lie, it was good, but I literally ordered like the most random like thing on the menu. It didn't have any description. It was literally like this, like the random.
That's
like,
happened to me a
alleyway,
lot. Yeah.
Kind of like small, and I ordered like really fat. Like I ordered bone with like it had fat all on it and shit. It was like a rib, I guess, but like it was super fatty. But the broth and stuff and the noodles were really good. But that part I was kind of like I don't know. But it was still fucking crazy.
I think that's one of the biggest downfalls of not knowing Japanese fluently.
Yeah.
Is like even though I would say like I'm pretty confident in my like proficiency like speaking and listening and not writing, not lately, but even going to Japan, a lot of the menu items they're kind of like it's a dish name. So they usually use the kanji for it because it's kind of like it's like an official name. They kind of want it to pop out. You want it to be like it has like meaning, maybe like the name. So they usually use the Chinese kanji because it's more, it's cooler and it makes it stand out and it's just a little bit more established. But if you can't read it, you're like, fuck, I don't know what it is. And
Yeah.
even if you ask, like, can you explain what this is? They could explain it all you want, but you're probably not gonna really get it. You're just like, oh, so it's
Yeah.
veggies and meat and noodles, just like every other ramen. Like, because I don't speak that fluently.
Dude, I had a fucking problem with that. So I tried to ask this guy. I went to Tenkaipin, the ramen
Yeah,
place.
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Dude, I went there. There's one in when you go Kuzuha and you go a little further down. There's one over there, and literally
Really?
I went in there alone. Like one night I was like, fuck, I need ramen. I fucking
Yeah.
go to ramen, and I asked the guy because like it has two different like it had a bunch of different options and stuff, and I was like, fuck, I don't know like what to choose.
Yeah.
And I asked the guy, I'm like, oh, how do you like which one? What does it mean? And the guy looks at him and he's like, and he's like pointing at it. He's like trying to like he couldn't fucking come up with anything. So
Yeah,
I was like,
it's impossible.
yeah, just this, and he's like, no, but this or this, and I'm like, yeah, that, and dude, it was a really awkward encounter, but it was fucking good. So I don't know.
But it's also like it's one of those things where it's like those are the moments that I'm usually scared of. So I avoid restaurants that I don't really know because I don't want to have to go in and try to do like a translation fest, and it's embarrassing and people are looking and it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm that guy. But like you just said, like you went in, you got some ramen, you did it, and you can now
Yeah.
come home and be like, yeah, I fucking did it. I didn't wimp out and just not go in and not have any idea if it was good or
Yeah.
not. You know what I mean? I think that's like
Yeah,
a
man.
really a good thing to be proud of if you can do that. And like there was the one time I did it. I've done it a few times, but in Osaka I did it and I lucked the fuck out, dude. I found this spot, and if you ever come back, I'm gonna show you. It might not technically be considered ramen, but I don't know the difference enough to know. You know how like noodles are just soba, like they just call
Yeah,
them soba.
soba.
So in Japanese,
Yeah.
the word for like noodle can be like soba, or I guess they say men sometimes for like
Yeah,
ramen
men.
noodles, like ramen like men. But if you were to say soba, it's usually a dish that is like noodle based, but it's not
Yeah.
technically a ramen. So the place I found, I would call it ramen. I wish I had a photo. Like I'm not gonna like search on my phone and try to find it, but it was everything like ramen in my opinion is. It had like a broth, it had soup, it had noodles, it had chicken inside of it, like the thin
Yeah.
slice. I mean, it was ramen style-ish, but it was called tori soba, like tori as in bird.
Oh, yeah.
So it was just called tori soba, and the name of the restaurant I couldn't even read because it was like really hard kanji or whatever. I didn't even bother translating it, but I ended up going there like within like the last month. I was going like once a week because it was just that good. It was just I would just show up, and like it was one of those restaurants. I think I explained this in the podcast a little last time, but it was where you order it with the vending machine. So you go up and you just put in like 1,000 yen. You get your change back. You go and sit down and just give them a ticket, and they give you your food and you leave. So there's no like awkward like interaction. Like you could talk to them. They did ask me. They're like, "Oh, your Japanese is really good." I'm like, "Oh, same shit." You hear that a lot. If you speak any. By the way, guys, this is true for any foreigner going to Japan. If you even speak 2 words of Japanese, you are automatically very good. Your Japanese is very good because they Japanese people are so nice that they will compliment no matter how broken it is. Because even like when I first arrived to Japan and to where I left Japan, the same amount of compliments came all the time. So that's kind of scary because I know how bad my Japanese was when I first showed up. And I was receiving, if not, like, I was probably even getting more compliments because they were just trying to be nice. So, anyways, but that was basically, I'd go in and they'd be like, "Oh, your Japanese is really good." They'd ask, like, "Why are you here?" Because it's weird for an American to be in some random ramen shop. But ramen, dude, I agree. Ramen was my
Yeah. Was the thing you were talking about at that one place you found? Remember when we went to across Kansai Gaidai, the place Zaru Soba? We remember when we went with like the group, like it was kind of like that.
That one was
really
it was
good,
called
too.
it was called Abura Soba, I think.
Oh,
right?
really?
Wait, sorry.
It was called Zaru.
There was a place where the kanji above it was literally the kanji for oil, which is Abura. Is it? Hold on. So it was across the street from Gaidai, right?
No, we went together. Remember with
like Rina.
those kids. Yeah,
Right.
with all them.
Rina, yeah. That was it's. I think the actual name. What did you say it was?
I remember as Zaru Soba. Like Zaru.
I think Zaru Soba. No, I think that's a dish. I think that's just a dish.
Really?
Yeah,
I guess that's what I got.
Let me double check. Zaru Soba, I think is it's like a summer dish. It's the Yeah, dude. You're just mixing up with a name. It's okay.
Oh
Like,
shit,
you're
man.
safe. You're still, but you
Dude, I
got
don't know
it.
shit about Japan.
No, dude, Zarusoba's fire, dude.
No,
Zarusoba's really Zarusoba. You probably had it. It's a it's like just like blank noodles, like just like boiled
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like, just raw, and then you just dip it into a sauce that's cold. So you have it in the summer because it's like a cold, and you're just like, oh, and it's like refreshing.
Uh,
That's Zarusoba.
I think I mix it up with something.
That's all right. I mean, it's like I don't. I was explaining in the last podcast that I don't know the names of half the places I went to or half the
Yeah,
like
right.
meals I ate anyway. So you're good.
Yeah,
But that
yeah.
place was good actually. I would have someone was right across the street. I don't know. I like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
place.
I don't know, it's good.
I just see. Let's steer over. I'm looking over at the chat here. Someone
Yeah.
said, "When will you release a vlog again, Eric?" This is from Fuku no Kaze. Are you American? Doing that in Fuku no Kaze? Is that like the wind of the clothes? Is that I don't know. I'm gonna be working on vlogs again, starting not next week, in
Never.
2 weeks. I'm starting on the 12th. The 12th of December. I have from the 12th of December until Christmas. I have 2 weeks off, and I'm gonna use most of that time editing. So yeah, vlog. Someone said Vlogmas. It's gonna be Vlogmas. Do Vlogmas? What does that mean?
Dude,
What does that
that's
mean?
vlogging all during December, I think. I don't know about that, man.
Like every day?
Yeah.
I can't do that. Fuck. Dude, I spend like a week per video. Yeah. No, people it was funny. One person was asking when I started the podcast. They were like, why waste time with a podcast when you can just use that time for editing? Then you'd get videos out on time. Duh. I was like, well, let's break this down. I
No,
spend
like, I think
spend
it's
too much
important
time.
to note, like,
Yeah.
for especially you and stuff, like, we have so much footage. Like, even me
Dude.
too. Like,
Dude.
I don't have like as much of a following as you and stuff, and like I don't have as much as like people fucking on my ass that want videos, and I have so much footage, and I know you have so much footage too for so many ideas we like talked about so much while we were in Japan and stuff.
Yeah,
Even like
I mean,
out here after not being in Japan.
do you remember
Like,
the
it's just
day
we
that
need time, man.
Do you remember the day that you and we went to I don't even remember the name now. What was it called? Where we went and we saw like on the street we were gonna go to a brewer like a craft beer event.
Oh yeah! Oh my god! Oh my god!
It was
That
near the castle.
Was that
It was near Osaka Castle.
Fuck.
I don't remember the name, but it's okay. But basically, I have all that footage that I
Yeah.
haven't even looked at yet because it's just like fuck. Like,
Kiyobashi.
Kyobashi. We saw that like art performance on the street where the girl was
Yeah.
we were walking down the street and we saw like this, I'm not kidding. Literally there was a water tank on the sidewalk and we're like, "Oh, what the hell is this?" It was kind of like an art show project thing. And when we walked up and fucking there was a woman in a business like outfit, like a what do you call that? I mean, it's like it's a work skirt, but it was
Like work
like
uniform.
okay, just a work uniform. Is that what you call it? Just I wasn't
Yeah,
sure if there's like a
guess so.
business skirt or like a
It's like
formal
business
female,
attire uniform.
I don't know,
Yeah.
something. Yeah, she was in a full uniform, sitting at a desk using a computer that's like waterproof with like a mask on her face, like a scuba tank, and she was just
Yeah.
in there like waving at people. And we're like, what the fuck
And like
is
pretending
this?
to work and shit. It's
Dude,
like,
it was weird, and people
so
were like
weird.
putting their dog up to it, and she was like waving and like kissing it, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And so we took the camera, and we went up, and we were like recording it and stuff, and there was a guy in charge, and we asked him like, oh, what is this? And in very, very, very thick Japanese, he explained it, and I went, oh, thank you, and like I didn't hear a word, but he showed me on his phone. I think he tried to Google Translate it for us, so we got kind of like a rough idea. It was something about like it was like the workplace and how women can feel drowned in the workplace or something. So it actually had like a really good message, and but it was sick. And I was like, this. So I was maybe I could post that just in December because it's like just like as like a 1 minute video because I still have that and I looked at it the other day and I'm like, dude, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty sweet. But there's like
it's so random.
we were gonna make a video of us going to a craft brewery, like an event, kind of like a
Yeah,
we
dude.
in Portland we have those like every day. In Japan, not so much. And then we found out that just to like get in, it was like $30, And then every
Yeah.
beer
And
after
then
you get in was like $10 each, and we're like,
yeah,
yeah.
you had to buy a cup that you could only use, and it was like $20 or some shit. It was terrible.
Yeah, and that's actually normal at a lot of the brew things. Like I have a cup from an event that I went to, but the cup is usually your entry. Like
Uh huh.
you buy if you buy our cup, you now have a cup,
Oh, okay.
and that's your
Yeah,
entry
yeah,
fee. So you're like, oh, okay, it's a
yeah. They don't
souvenir.
do that.
No, they charged up the ass. It was like $30 plus. Yeah, it was gonna cost us like $60 just to taste some beer. We're like, why don't
Yeah.
we just go buy beer and just go? In Japan you can drink outside, so we did that a lot, dude. That was so fun. I hope we
Yeah,
can go back and just
dude.
people,
Tell
yeah.
me.
Just like some of the days where we'd go out into Osaka and like without plans, and people are like, oh, we're going to this club, we're going to this place, all this stuff, which is fine. They'd be like, what are you guys doing? We're going to 7-Eleven and walking. Like we would just go to 7-Eleven
Yeah,
and then like post up somewhere and just drink, and like I don't know. I really miss those
dude.
times. We had a lot of good times.
It's like the thing about Japan, like on every like the train line, the Keihan line that we went on, that's like the train line that runs through like our city. Um, you could literally just be like, "Hey, I'm gonna go to this random like station and just explore that area." And there's stuff like all over the place. There's different food and everything,
Yeah.
and different like weird events happening. And like you could just do that every day, like for literally months, and like you
Japan
probably would
is
not get bored.
Japan is so dense that like what you just said,
Yeah,
you
there's
just
so
go,
much.
you explore like everywhere around you, and then you take a station to the next spot and do it again for months. And like you said, you could just basically just pick a station and just focus on it for a few weeks, and then
Yeah.
yeah, really cool. Um, yeah, 7-Elevens. People are asking. 7-Elevens are all over Japan. They're amazing. Yes.
Dude,
Mike, I
all I gotta
mentioned in the
say,
podcast, but the karaage bon,
oh
ippon,
shit.
get
Oh my
one
god,
for like
dude.
150 yen. The
Oh my god.
best chicken on a stick ever
Dude, like 7-Eleven, like where I live is like the
for the
most
price.
disgusting
Oh,
thing in
dude,
the world.
dude,
It's
it's a place.
oh
It's a
my god.
place I wouldn't even shit in a 7-Eleven, dude.
You want like a roll you want like a rolling hot dude, the fucking bathrooms in convenience stores in Japan. They're
Dude,
all fucking clean as hell.
dude.
It's fucking crazy. And they have like the fucking toilets that just shoot water up your ass, you get clean, you're like, fuck man, this is great.
Japanese bathrooms are unmatched in
Yeah.
cleanliness. I mean, I'm sure there's
Yeah, yeah.
competitors. I don't know. I haven't explored Europe a whole lot.
Nah,
When I
man.
was there, I was not shitting in bidets or whatever nice stuff. It was squat holes, and it's gross. But I
Yeah.
was also not in like rich countries either. But like Japan, it was like you said, you go into a 7-Eleven, which you think is just like, for those who don't live in America, I hope, I'm sure you guys have some sort of an image of just American quality of like everything in general. It's pretty bad. 7-Eleven though is mostly a place you'd only go to buy like tobacco and beer. Like you wouldn't go there and buy food. And they have like snacks. It's mostly like it's like a gas station basically. Like if you go to a gas station,
Yeah.
not in Japan though. Japan, you could literally like, oh, I'm gonna make food tonight. You could buy all your ingredients at 7-Eleven. It'll cost more than a
Yeah.
supermarket, but you could.
Yeah,
And
basically
it's not bad.
I loved going to the supermarket in Japan. Dude, this one I
Yeah.
had is literally like 2 minutes away from me. It's called Life, like Raifu. So, dude, I would go there like in the morning. They had fresh, like they had a bakery, like fresh baked like goods and everything. They had like my favorite like pastry thing I used to always get was called melon pan. It's basically like it's really whenever I tell someone like that I like it a lot, like especially Japanese people, they like laugh because it's usually like something like kids eat. And I don't know, it's just fucking good. It's just bread and it's sweet and it's amazing.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. They have like all like the prepared food, the onigiri, everything was literally like, good.
That's the thing I think I ate the most in Japan was the onigiri. Just
Yeah.
meat wrap,
Yeah, I remember.
something
Yeah,
inside
I
of a
remember
ball
you
of
ate
rice.
that shit.
I ate it every day, like
I
almost every day.
remember in our in our one movie class, you'd always like just we'd just be sitting there and to turn on the movie, and then you just hear Eric in his backpack, and he like brings out an onigiri. Like, what the fuck, man?
Actually, the second semester. So I don't know. Did I tell you this? I took Barry's class again, but it was a
Yeah,
different.
you told me you took it again.
So I got credits for a different class, but it was the same teacher, same class, same format, but the movies were just different. So it was cool. So I basically just continued because we watched instead of like when the one you and I were in, we watched movies from like the recent like 2000s and like I think the newest one we watched was the Eternal Zero, the AN no Zero,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the war one.
Mhm.
And this other one we watched movies from like the 50s and the 60s and like which was cool because it was like we saw some stuff like post World War II, So it was almost like a
Yeah.
documentary almost, because you see like still some of
Mhm.
the damage that was left over, and like it's like, wow, this is actually really eye opening. And in that class too, I was the guy known for always bringing snacks, because like I can't just watch a whole movie without eating something. So like I'd always just show up like over prepared. Like I'd buy like a whole thing
Yeah.
of juice, an onigiri, some like chips. And there was one day where some kid,
Yo.
he's in the chat. The guy, hey Kazu, hey, and there's a guy named Kazu. He's in the chat, and a girl named Rina. Say hi, Kazu and Rina, if you're still here, because they were in that class with me. And after class one day, they're like, dude, you eat so many snacks. Like, what is your problem?
Dude,
And
you would
that's-
walk in there with like fruit smoothies and shit, and we're like, what the fuck, man? You're like, dude, this juice is fucking great, man.
Dude,
You
I
gotta
have an
try it. I'm like,
appetite. I
whoa.
have an appetite.
Try to watch a movie, man.
Well, in Japan, you have to walk everywhere too. So
Yeah.
you're burning calories all day in Japan.
Yeah, man.
I never gained weight. I lost muscle, but I never gained weight. It was great.
Dude, remember we like tried working out sometimes? That was pretty funny.
Yeah, the one time we
went to
went, that
one
was
gym.
good.
Yeah,
The gym they had at our school. The gym they had at our school.
so bad.
So they basically, fuck, that was terrible. So like in America, we have gyms on like every street. You know, it's just like,
Yeah.
which I think is great. Like I bash on America a lot. That's one thing America has going for it, is we, as overweight and stuff as we are and obese we have a lot of gyms. And in Japan they don't. Like they just don't. They don't use gyms very much. And they exist. And like if you're in a sports club, maybe you can get in. But basically at the school, you only had access to the gym if you were on the official like sports team of the school. Basically, well, the clubs, they call them clubs, but you know what I mean. It was like if you're on the baseball team, you can go in and work out. But for someone like you and me, where we were foreign students, we couldn't do that. So they sent us to the foreigner gym, which I always use this quote, and it might be in poor taste, but it literally looks like a World War II like remaining, like something left over from World War II. Like it was so bad. Half the shit was like broken. The weights had like rust on them. Like dude, it was literally like the worst. And we went once and never went again. I ran a lot. I went jogging a lot. That was my exercise in Japan. I didn't work out.
I biked everywhere.
That's true. We biked,
Oh my
walked,
God.
and like ran everywhere. I remember there was one day you ran and you said you ran for like an hour, and that you like it like rocked you so hard that you like never went again. You're like, dude, I just ran so much and I almost like fainted.
Dude, no, dude, because I went and I was like, dude, I kind of want to just go somewhere like really far, and I ran so fucking far. It felt so good.
It feels great in the moment.
The whole way going all the way down, it was fucking amazing. And
Yeah.
I got to the end, I stopped. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna head back. And then it was already a fucking hour, and I'm like, yo, I have to go all the way back.
That's funny.
I don't know why. I guess I was just in like a fucking moment or something, but
So I
Jesus.
think, dude, something just popped in my head that I think may be a good thing to bring up here with the chat. It's gonna be an Eric story, but you're involved in a small form, but you're still involved.
Yeah.
Do you remember the night where I called you at like midnight? No, like 2 a.m.
Dude, I know what the fuck you're talking about.
Okay, should I
Dude.
just do this? Should I do like the long version though? Do you guys want to hear the long version or the short version? Like, should we like take a break? Like, should we get ready for this?
Yo, I think the long version.
Okay, yeah.
Let's see what everyone thinks.
I'm now realizing, dude, you know how I told you like, oh, I need to eat some food before we start the stream?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, you didn't fucking get any.
I'm trying to think if I have like a Cliff Bar. All right, Mike, I'm putting you back on the mic. I'm gonna go grab a granola bar. I'm putting the Jeopardy theme back on.
Okay, yeah.
Say something. Talk to the chat for a little bit. Sorry, guys. I know
Alright,
this is
alright.
like really unprofessional, but here we go.
No, it's professional. We don't have to be professional over here, guys. You know, it's a podcast. What are we gonna do? Yo, if anyone, we're gonna do the long story. Like, honestly, I want to say it right now, but I want to hear the whole story as well because I kind of forgot it. So, anyone have any questions or anything? Anyone? I'm answering. I'm not from Alaska. I'm definitely not from Alaska.
All right.
I have eaten at Family Mart. I did not have the fried chicken at Family Mart though. Is that good?
Family Mart?
Have you had the fried chicken at Family Mart? I don't think I tried that.
I mean, it's all kind of the same. I mean, any convenience store I went to, I always had the fried chicken. It was.
Yeah, it's probably
I had
the
the
same.
Family Mart. I had the Family Mart korokke a lot. That was good.
Yo, I love that shit.
It's like a fried potato biscuit. All right, let me chew on this. Keep talking. I'm like smacking in the mic.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Mike, why are you from
Age,
Alaska, dude?
dude, I don't know, man. I guess I was born in two places. You know what I mean? Age. I'm not saying my age. You know, I'm ageless. I'm about to get deep like Kanye on this shit.
Dude, I'll say something about Kanye really quick. I've always saw him as just like a huge piece of shit, just like an asshole. He like refers to himself as
Uh-huh.
like Jesus Christ himself. I'm like, dude, you're a fucking idiot. Except I saw this video on YouTube where he was doing a live show, and like one of his big. I've heard it's one of the best performance shows you can go to, because he actually puts a lot of effort into it, like to make it so that like the music and the lighting and everything like works. It's like an orchestrated thing. And there's a video where it was on the cringe subreddit, if you've ever been on there, where it's just cringy videos. And it's him like 10 minutes before the show's supposed to end. He's on this like skyline elevated like elevator thing that kind of it floats him across the crowd.
Yeah,
So he
yeah,
can like
yeah.
go across. When he's directly in the middle of the crowd, his voice like cracks and he's like, that's it, I can't do this anymore. And he's like, I'm sorry, y'all, I gotta stop the show. And they like turn on the lights and everyone's like, what? And he just like slowly like elevates back toward the stage while everyone's just waiting for like a whole minute. But I was gonna say, I thought he was a piece of shit until I was reading into that, because I was like, why would he do that? That's so like what is he doing? I've heard that he's really picky with his shows. And if it doesn't go perfect, he'll literally stop the show. He has no problem just stopping the show and saying, hey, they messed up the music drop. I want you guys to do it again, but don't fuck it up this time. And they'll do it again and like till they get it right. And it sounds like dickish and arrogant, but like the fact that he's going out of his way to like put on a perfect show for his crowd, I think that's cool. I thought that was pretty respectable.
Oh shit, Masa's here. Masa!
No way. Masa!
Asashikuri!
Oh! Man, I probably shouldn't be drinking on an empty stomach. I think I'm getting kind of fucked up.
Nah, man,
But-
that bar's getting you real good.
After this Mark bar, we're going to get into the story.
Yeah, they want the long story, man.
But this is not a Mark bar, don't worry. I keep putting on the Jeopardy music. Oh, it's okay. Here we go. Hey.
Yeah, I'm from Anchorage, Alaska. You know what I mean?
Why does
I was
everyone
born
think he's
in
from Alaska?
I was born in Alaska first, but then New Jersey second.
I didn't finish in
Yeah,
time.
you munching that, man. Yo,
All right, we're
take
gonna
your
wash
time,
this
man.
down
You
with a
gotta
nice.
get
We're
the
gonna wash
energy.
this down with a non-promoted PBR. Pabst Blue Ribbon. If you're looking for a sponsor, someone to represent you over there overseas in Japan, you should consider the Erica broadcast. Erica Broad himself will personally sponsor the hipster beer of a generation to the Pacific. There. Here we go. All right,
Damn.
it's story time. Do I have a sound effect for story time? I don't have a sound effect for anything.
Just the
It's
scream.
story time. We need to discuss the night that I got stranded in Kyoto. Okay, hold on. Let me watch this down. This is actually, I've been wanting to tell a story for a long time. It's really good.
It's terrible.
And Mike's involved. Okay, guys.
Damn, bro, come on.
Let me take you down memory lane. I know, I'm struggling. Holy shit. I should have ate. This is so unprofessional. This is the laziest form of like YouTubing. I'm literally sitting here like drinking a beer. Is that even legal? I've heard there's like laws against like drinking on camera. Like in
You're done, man.
commercials, if you watch a beer commercial, notice you never see them actually drinking the beer. No, like just
Yeah,
like
man.
you don't. It's illegal, commercial wise. So in this, I hope hey,
Hey, man, you're good. It's just water in your can.
yeah, it's just water. I'm
You
drinking
don't-
water.
You don't
It's
want to
a-
waste.
it's
you don't want to pollute the earth. You know.
It's a custom mug. It's the PBR mug that I got for a white elephant last year. Yeah. Okay, you guys, I want to take you down take you to a time last year where yours truly here, Eric Abroad. Okay, let me really try to recollect. I don't even remember how I ended up.
Me either, man. I just remember my part, honestly.
Okay, and I only remember being on the train. I don't remember like which night, like why I was really okay. Here we go. In Japan, the trains run till about midnight, and if you ride on the last train, the train will take you to the very last stop, and then it's done, and that's it. So you have to wait until the train starts again in the morning at like 5 in the morning. I need to burp. Yikes. And so I think this was the first time it's happened. It ended up happening to me about like 3 times while in Japan. But this was the first time. Yeah, this was the first time where it was like a big deal, where like I couldn't get home. Basically, I got really, really, really drunk with some friends. I don't remember where. I don't remember how. I don't remember like. Not that I don't remember. I just don't remember like which night it was. And I basically went on the train, and since I was living in a homestay, I always went off different from everyone else. They would always go back to like the dorms or like to a specific area. I would go specifically onto my train back to where I live. And so one night I got really drunk apparently, and I got on the train, and my phone. I usually set an alarm on my phone so that I don't fall asleep. This night I fell asleep like on the train drunk. So I pass out, and I wake up, and it's like 12:30 at night, and it's a train conductor literally shaking me, saying like, "Get off the train." And so I'm like, "Oh fuck!" And I'm like, I kind of say in Japanese like, "Wait, is this the last train? Is this the last train?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's done. Like, please leave." And I'm like, "Oh no!" So I look. I'm trying to see where I even am, and basically Mike and I were studying abroad. We were studying abroad at Kansai Gaidai, which was like 30 minutes south of Kyoto. If you've heard of Kyoto, it's like an ancient city in Japan. It's like one of the cities that was left untouched from World War II, fortunately. And so there's a lot of like temples and ancient shit there. It's a really big tourist attraction. But my train, I went way too far north, and I went all the way to the end to Kyoto. And there's nothing out there. I mean, there's stuff, but like not where I ended up. It was literally like the boonies. Like I was in like the more like ghetto part of Kyoto. And so I show up. It's 12:30. I know where I am, but like I've never been to this station exactly. So I'm like, fuck, like this is way too far to walk back. Like, what am I gonna do? So the first thing I did was call Mike and kind of told him the situation, just like, hey, dude. And I was drunk at the time,
Dad.
so it was really hard to like even like get this like I had to get my point across. Like, dude, I'm stranded, bro. Like, where? In Kyoto, dude. And they're like, he's like, what? But like it's not like we're driving cars or anything. The only thing we have are like bikes. But Mike goes, I'm pretty sure you offered to come pick me up on your bike. Is that right?
Yeah, I was like, hey man, like if you really need, I'll pick you up on the bike. Cause you said you were going to this station, cause some guy was gonna drive you, right?
Oh, see that's okay. That's another part of the story. So let me backtrack. Let me double check.
Yeah, yeah,
I
cause that
think
was part of it.
I think what happened. I think I called you and you told me you were gonna get on a bike and start heading north, and I was walking south. So, oh yeah, here's another part of the story I forgot about. So I was just like, dude, it's too far of a walk, but I'm so drunk and it's midnight. I have nothing but time to kill anyway. Because usually in Japan, if you end up in a situation like that, you can usually like find like a hotel or a karaoke booth or just like anywhere that a lot of places are open 24 hours. So you can go find a place to like spend your time. And on this night, I ended up in somewhere where I literally couldn't find anything. Not a single restaurant. I found some 7-Elevens and stuff, but you can't really like sit down or anything there, or like it's a 7-Eleven. So I called Mike and told him, hey dude, I'm gonna start walking south because I'm just drunk anyway and I don't really care. I'd rather walk than just like fall asleep on a bench or something. So I started walking. I was like, dude, if you start riding north, call me and we can meet up and then you can like give me a ride back or something and we'll figure it out, or we'll find a place to. I figured like maybe in the middle point you and me could find somewhere to go just hang out for the night, and I could buy you drinks and like I'd buy you dinner or whatever, we'd figure it out. So as I'm walking south, Mike, this is what happened. Is as I'm walking south, I'm walking kind of on the freeway, not on the freeway, but kind of like on these paths that are kind of along the road. Just I'm making sure I'm still going straight south. I get bumped into by another drunk salaryman, and he's like this older guy, kind of chunky, and he kind of sees me and he goes, "Oh," and he says in like very very broken English, like, "You are American?" And I'm like, and I reply in Japanese because I'm like feeling cocky or whatever. And we start talking. And I basically just explained to him, like, yeah, I was at this party and I got a little too drunk and I fell asleep on the train and I'm trying to walk home and I'm meeting my friend at a train station. And he's like, oh, which train station? And I told him. And he's like, yeah, I just moved here I think he's from Tokyo. He's a salaryman, but his family lives in Tokyo. But for work, he was living in Osaka, which I think is a pretty common thing sometimes. Like, they won't see the husband for a long time because he goes off to work and like comes back, which is kind of sad. But like he's like, yeah, my family's living in Tokyo, but I'm here by myself. I have my own apartment. But I just moved here last week, so I don't even know how to find it because he's like, I just got back from a work party and I'm hammered. Like he was fucked up. But he was really nice, and we were talking, and I'm like, well, I'm heading south if you want to walk with me. And he's like, yeah, sure. So we start walking together, like, on the freeway. So it's kind of sketch. We're just, like, walking, and I'm like, dude, this is, like, I don't know. I'm just with some random guy, and, like, it's 1 a.m, and fucking, like, we're going to get hit by... I was more worried about the traffic, because Japanese, like, strangers are usually really nice. And I'm walking along the road, and maybe after, like, 10 minutes of going... a car that whizzes by, like this really nice sports car, it like flies by, screeches on the tires, and turns around and pulls up to us. And I freaked out because I was like, in my vision, it's like, that's like a story of like, the guy who goes, what is that? Taken, fucking like you get involved, like you just get kidnapped and like sold into like sex slavery. Like, I thought that was it, dude. I thought that was it. Like, we have an American. Like, this is him. And they pull up and fucking throw me in. I'm like, I'm fucked. I wasn't thinking this at the time because I was just like in Japan where it's very safe, but it was still kind of scary. And this car kind of pulls up and he rolls down his window. It's just one guy in the car in this like red, nice sports car. And he goes, "You guys need a ride?" And the guy next to me starts talking to him in like Japanese and stuff. And he says, "Oh, he will give us a ride to the station so we can go with him." And I'm like, at the time, looking back, it's probably one of the situations where you should be like, "Nah, I'm good." I literally was just like, "Oh, fuck yeah." Like we hop in the car and he starts driving. So I call Mike, and I'm like, dude, he's giving me a ride to the station. Like, meet me at, like, X station or whatever. And Mike messages me back, and he goes, dude, that station is north. Like, you're heading back where you started. And I'm like, no way. And I was checking my maps. We were going north again. So the station he was going to take us to was the wrong one. So it was, like, too far, and I lost all my progress. And that's when I called. That's when I messaged.
I was literally fucking, while you were going, because you told me you were going to go to this station that was, like, a little bit closer to me. And, like, he said he was going to drop you off there. And I guess, like, something fucking got misunderstood there.
Yeah.
And, dude, I was already halfway there. And then, like, you're like, oh, shit, dude, I'm in fucking, like, Upper Kyoto. And, like, I'm nowhere near you. I'm like, well, the fuck, man. I'm just going to be here.
I felt really bad because
I just got stranded out there, man.
That's the second time I dissed you.
I don't think it was a
with
good
Mark
idea
Parr,
for me
and then
to
this
even
time.
go.
What's that?
It wasn't even, like, a good idea for me to go. I don't know why I fucking did that.
No, I was surprised. You're like, dude, I'll just come out on my bike. And I'm like, but that's going to suck. I'm just going to ride on the back of your bike. You're like, no, it'll be good. We'll be fine. I was like, fuck, I won't say no.
I think I was, like, writing essays or some shit. I was really fucking pissed, like, bored. I couldn't sleep or something.
You seemed
a little... I'm
too...
just going to go on a bike ride.
You seemed a little too open to the idea. And I was like, are you sure you want to ride your bike? It's like 3 a.m. and it's freezing. And you're just like, dude, yeah, I'll be there. Like, I was like, fuck, like what a homie. I thought I found like a best friend. I was just like, Jesus Christ, dude, that's some like serious status. Yeah. And yeah, so then I got in the car and I had to tell you, like, dude, they're taking me in a different direction. And you're like, what the fuck, dude? I'm already out here.
Yo,
Go
and your phone was like dying too,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. So my phone's down to like 10%. So I'm like, dude, I don't have a lot of time to talk. My phone's dying, but I'm pretty sure we're heading in the wrong direction. Where are you? And he's like, dude, I'm like halfway there.
The last messages you told me were like, dude, I don't know where the fuck I'm gonna be in the morning. I'll just pray for me, man. And I was like, oh fuck. And then like you just didn't answer. I was like, well, it's over.
I think I messaged you saying like, dude, if I get raped, I think I literally messaged. I could probably find it. I think I sent you a message because like, it's a thing I do like whenever like even in America, like whenever I go on like for example, like if I buy something on Craigslist, like and someone's like, oh, I live here, and it's like, it's a random person, I don't know where they are, I always send the address to like my parents or something, and I always kind of jokingly I say, hey mom, in case I get raped, I'm going here. And she's like, and she knows what that means. She's like, okay, because like I would always do that with Craigslist just to be safe, just for like a peace of mind. I don't know, at least they could find where I was. Yeah. And so I messaged you saying like, dude, my phone's gonna die. We're going in the wrong direction. I'm so sorry. If you don't hear from me ever again or I die or get raped, like, it's been real. And I just send that shit. And you're probably like, what the fuck? So let me go back to basically what was happening in the car. Was I was telling them like, hey, I think we're going in a different direction. And they're like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah, I need to go south. And the guy who was driving, he's like, well, I'm not going that way. And we're like, fuck. So he basically took us to where the guy lives, like the salaryman.
Yeah.
We went to a 7-Eleven, and the guy I was with, the salaryman, he was like, hey, we need to buy this guy like some beer or like a snack or something because he drove us. Like, we need to buy him something. So we go into the 7-Eleven, and we each bought like 3 beers and like a snack, bought him, and then went outside to the guy who was driving the car because he was like smoking a cigarette, and we like offered him the beer. I'm pretty sure he didn't even take it. Like he was just like, no, that's for you guys. Like go ahead, like it's fine. I don't really care. But he was a fucking homie. Like I mean, like think about it. Like going back, he was literally just he saw some guys on the freeway at like midnight, and he offered to give us a ride home. Like and he was in like a nice sports car. He was really cool. He was telling us that he's apparently like he like as a hobby he does like drag racing and stuff. He's like like Tokyo Drift or something like
it's
something
like
crazy.
Initial D shit right there.
Yeah, dude. And so I was appreciative, but he gave me a ride to the wrong spot. So I'm just like I told Mike basically where we were at, and okay, here's where the story actually takes kind of a dark turn. I told you all this, right, Mike? Like everything.
I think so, yeah.
I mean, it might be like details, like little details that you probably forgot,
Yeah.
but like, okay, here's where it gets a little dark. Is up to this point, like I know it sounded like I keep saying like rape warnings and shit, but in the moment up to this point, I wasn't really scared of anything. Just because like in Japan, it's really safe. Strangers are really kind. They were being really nice to me, and I was drunk, so I wasn't like uncomfortable or like I felt like this is like a bad situation to be in. I was just like, fuck, I'm freezing. I just want to go home. And here's where it gets weird. We arrive, we do the 7-Eleven thing. That's where we were like parting away from the guy. So we try to give him beer. We say thank you very much. And he's like, okay, my apartment's right up here. And I'm like, cool. And as we're walking up, I'm kind of trying to figure out my plan because I'm like, fuck, well, this train doesn't start till like 5:30 in the morning. So I kind of either have to just like hang out with this dude or like find somewhere to go. And he says like, well, hey, like, I mean, obviously, like, he's like, I have to work tomorrow, but if you like want to just like crash on my couch, like you're free to come in. And at this point, a little, thing went off in my head going like, that's the signal. Like, that's the one thing that your parents warn you about your whole life to like, hey, you want some candy? No, you like candy? It's just right over in this corner. Come over here. That's the sign.
A very nice couch.
So
you can sleep on it.
That's where it started to ring in my head. Like, okay, Eric, if you're going in there, like, I mean, this is like, you have to really know what you're getting. So I was very aware at this point what I was doing. As in, like, I need to keep, like, a sharp eye. Because this actually could, potentially be really weird. I mean, spoiler alert, it was fine. But, like, at this point, it was fucking weird. So here's where it got weird. He invites me, and he's just like, yeah, I live in this apartment. Like, it's pretty big, but you can sleep on the couch if you want, and maybe charge your phone and shit. I'm like, cool. We go in there, and I'm really skeptical. So my phone is actually dead at this point, like legit dead. So like this is it. I'm like, he knows my phone's dead too. So like this could be a really bad thing. And I go up there, but he was such a nice guy. He comes up and he's like, since we went to 7-Eleven, we had like the beer and food. So we went up into his apartment. He like shows me, really nice place. He's got a couch and a table. It's really small because it's Japanese. He has his bed, and then sorry you can't see him, but he had like a bed, and then like a TV and a couch and a table like all in a kind of a separate section like next to the kitchen, and then like a bathroom in another room. And he's like, well, I guess we bought all this beer and food, like I guess we could just eat it. And I'm like, cool. So I started eating food, and I was like sipping beers and stuff because I was still like whatever. And we were trying to charge my phone, but he thought he had a charger and he didn't, so I couldn't charge it. And there's so many details that are not coming back. I had a charger, but it was broken. I forgot about this. I had like a cable, but it was like, janked or whatever, so I couldn't charge it. But I was like, all right, I might as well try to plug it in. So I plugged it in and tried to charge it. Nothing was happening, but I put it face down. This is important because this is where it gets weird again. Well, basically, like, for the next, like, 20 minutes, he was just wanting to, like, talk to me. Japanese, in my experience, are usually really interested. If they're interested in America, they're, like, they love to just talk and, like, explain, like, oh, I really love this movie. I really love this, like, TV series. I love this music. He brought up this music artist that was, like, a jazz artist because he's like, do you like jazz? And I was like, yeah, actually, I do because I play drums, so, like, I really like jazz. And he was like, oh, yeah, this is my favorite, like, American jazz singer. Do you know him? And it was this artist, some black dude I've never heard of in my life. And he's just like, oh, yeah, like, I have all his CDs. Like, we should listen to him. And he, like, puts it on. But it was like Kevin G, kind of sexy jazz, kind of, like, slow-tuned music jazz, right? Like, and he's got that
George
going, like,
Michaels.
on a low tone. Yeah, exactly. Again, I started to notice that this was getting weird, but at that point I go, wait a minute. This is leading to some weird shit. Like, why is he playing this music? And he's just like, oh, it's like my favorite music. And he wouldn't stop talking about it. He went on for like an hour. He's like, you really never heard of this? I'm like, no, dude, like I have no idea who this is. I'm sorry. And he seriously listened to it for like a half hour. And then he's like, all right, I'm going to go shower and stuff. So like, I'll be right back. I'm like, all right, cool. He goes to the shower and shit. And I'm just like, damn, like this guy's been really nice, but like, I do need to be careful. Cause this is like, I just got these weird vibes and the jazz music just kept creeping me the fuck out. Cause it was so sexy and like, you know what I mean? It was just like, it was the exact vibe you'd set up to like rape someone.
I would have fucking ran out there right there when he's taking a shower.
Well, here's what happened. He comes out and he like comes back and he goes, so do you need to shower or anything? And I immediately say, no. That is absolutely fine. No. Like, and he's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to like sleep in my clothes, like on the couch. Cause it's only like a couple hours. It's fine. He's like, well, in Japan, it's like, he kept pushing it, dude. He goes, in Japan, it's really normal to like shower before bed, right? I'm like, yeah. But I'm not going to do that. And, he kept,
it's really normal to shower together.
Exactly, dude. And so he kept pushing it. And I'm just like, and I felt really bad because it's actually kind of rude. Like he's like offering and I'm like, no, I'm not going to shower. And he's like, and I'm sleeping on his couch. So he probably doesn't want me all dirty and like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I was like, I felt bad, but at the same time, I'm like, I need to be firm here. I need to not let him like have any opportunity to get in my butthole. So he kept doing that. And I was just like, and then it got to a point where he was like asking so much and with the jazz and just like all these things going off in my head and I was drunk. I finally admitted to myself, like, I would rather be outside in the cold than dealing with this bullshit. Cause I can't fall asleep in this. Like, this is weird. Like, it's just like, it just felt so like, at this point I was like, I need to actually play it safe and just like cut the cord here. So my phone, like I said, I put it face down so he couldn't see it. He's in the other room. I shout while he's in the other room. I go, oh, it charged. My phone charged. Cool. I pick up the phone and proceed to have a fake conversation with you. Like, the phone's dead. I pick it up and go, in English, because he won't understand it, right? I go, yeah, hey, Mike. And I actually use, like, the real conversation, just in case. I
forgot this.
I go, yo, Mike, I charged my phone, dude. Where are you at? Oh, you're almost here? That's great. I can meet you outside. I can leave this apartment? Sure, Mike. See you soon. Goodbye. And like I said in like really clear English, just to make sure he like got the point in case he like tried to like deny it or some shit. So I messaged, I called him over and I'm like, hey, like, my phone just died again because I like pretended it died right after the phone call. I was like, oh, I got it to charge just enough for a phone call. I called my friend. He's almost here on his bike. So I thank you so much for like housing me and showing me all this stuff and like thank you so much and talking to me, but I think I'm gonna go because he's gonna give me a ride home. And he's like, are you sure? And I'm like, he's like, it's like you can sleep here. It's in hindsight, like it was a really warm apartment. I probably should have just stayed there. And
yeah, right.
But I was just like, no, like I thank you so much. Seriously, like you were so kind. And I felt really bad because he really was like such a like good, you know what I mean? Just being like a good, like a nice guy, and he was trying to help me out. So he's like, well, I'll wait outside with you until your friend shows up. And I go, oh, fuck. So, because I was just lying to him. So we go outside to the station. And he's like, where are you meeting him? I said, well, I told him to meet me at the train station. So let's just wait here. And we waited there for like 20 minutes, dude. And I was trying to think the whole time, like, how do I get out of this? I need to get him out of here so I can just go away. And basically, yeah, for like 20 minutes we were talking. And then I pulled out my phone again and pretended it had just a little charge. I just kept doing this. I was just like, oh, it charged again. Oh, it's dead. Like, I just kept doing that. I pulled up my phone. Sorry, this is the long version. You're getting the long version here. There's so many details. But I pull out the phone, and I like pretend to read a message. And I'm like, oh, my phone just died. But my friend told me that he's actually 10 minutes away from here. But he doesn't want to go anymore. So I'm going to go meet him. So you don't have to come with me. Like, you can go ahead and go home. And even then, the dude still, he goes, are you sure? Like, you seem really lost and you seem a little nervous. Like, why don't you just like stay at my place? Like, the station's right here. You can just go back in the morning. And in hindsight, sure, the guy was just being nice and he probably was like doing me a big favor. But I was just like, no. Like, thank you so much. Like, please just like go home. And he kept pushing. I was just like, not like in a bad way, but he was just trying to be friendly.
Yeah.
And I was just like, please, sir, like you were so kind. Like, please go home. Like, go get some sleep. I'll be okay. And that was it. He went home. And at that point, then I was like, well, my friend's actually not coming anymore. And I abandoned him. So what do I do? So I literally like walked around. What did I even do? That was the longest night of my life. I walked to a 7-Eleven and kept going in and out of it, like just to stay warm. Because I was literally like homeless. I was like, oh, I'm freezing. I'd go inside, get warm, like, hush, 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 and then like read some manga or something. And remember, I'm still drunk. Like, this is like the whole time I'm like hammered drunk throughout this whole thing. And I'd go outside and there was some like random like Yankee, like Yakuza status, like teenagers, like, oh, cool American, like saying shit and like talking to me. And I was like shooting the shit with them. I love shooting the shit with Japanese when I'm drunk. It's so fun. But there was a point where I literally was like, I actually went to a park and was like, fuck this. I'm sleeping on a goddamn bench. Like, it's happening. I pulled out my gloves. I had a scarf. I put on a hoodie. I bundled up. I put in some Nujabes, some music, and just laid there and just like shut my eyes and like laid there. I'm like, this is the worst night ever. This is the worst night ever. And after like 20 minutes of trying to sleep, I couldn't do it. Dude, I have like a new respect for people that are homeless. Like, it's like, I never really realized how like miserable being outside in the cold is. It's terrible. And so I kept going. I was like, fuck, I can't sleep. This isn't happening. I spent all night just going in and out of 7-Elevens. Then at 4 in the morning, an hour before the train opens, I found a restaurant that was 24 hours. This whole time I could have just gone there. And I walk in and I'm like, is this place really 24 hours? And they go, yes. And I so, one please. Like, I go inside. They give me, it's one of those restaurants where it's like, you know how they have like the sliding doors so you could get your own room. So they put me in there and I said, what's the minimum? Because I'm not very hungry. To be honest, I'm waiting for the train. I told them this. And they said, well, like, how long are you staying? And I was like, just till 5 in the morning. They said, just buy some, like, can you buy some, like, miso soup or something? And I'm like, yeah. They charged me, like, $8 for it, but I don't even care. I don't even care. I was just like, yes, please. I was like, I'm literally gonna fall asleep in here. Is that okay? And they're like, yeah, it's fine. He was like, they were like, it wasn't like normal, but there was no one there. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm just gonna be in here until 5. And they're like, okay. And yep, I basically pulled up. They gave me some miso soup. I drank it down. I slept for 1 hour. They came in, woke me up, like led me outside. I got on the train, went home. And showed up to my host family just waking up ready for breakfast. And I haven't even like slept yet. And I'm like, they're like, what happened? Were you okay? Like, we couldn't get a hold of you. Not that they were like frantically doing anything, but they were just like, hey, like you seemed kind of like in peril. Cause I kind of messaged them, I think. And, I just told them like, I was like, I'll explain it later. And I went and took a bath and then went upstairs and passed the fuck out. That's the story. So I'm sorry that was really, really long. That was a long story,
that's
but
fucking crazy.
There's a few stories I have where I fell asleep. There's another one actually that I have. What happened? There was one where like I slept in a karaoke booth. There was another one where I basically did the same thing as what I just said, where I went to like a restaurant and just like slept. But that was, I think, the most like event-filled, fun-filled one where just so many random things happen.
Reminds me of like staying in Namba all night. Like pulling all-nighters and shit through like the other train.
But those are fun. Well, they kind of suck.
Yeah, man.
They kind of suck. Yeah. They kind of suck, actually. Not. Like, you're like hiding in McDonald's with all these other like high school kids that are like sleeping.
Dude, there's like, and these like crazy-ass like foreigners that are just like yelling and shit.
Yeah,
like, I don't know.
There was times where like you'd be at the clubs and there's like guys getting kicked out and you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's I have a story for next time. You weren't there, were you? When I got kicked out of Kitsune in Kyoto.
No, dude, when I heard that shit, I was like, what the fuck? Dude. How the fuck does Eric get kicked out?
I got kicked out of a club, dude. But it wasn't even, it was just out of stupidity. Long story short,
oh my god, I remember the story now, dude. Oh, that was awful.
Well, again, we're not gonna do this whole story now. Just to bear. We need to take this in.
That's for another time.
In breaths here. Thank you guys for listening, you guys. Yeah, no, that's not the end of the podcast. But thank you for listening to that story, because that was. But yes, there was a time where I got kicked out of a club. I'll just give like the premise, like the synopsis. It was the most drunk I was in Japan for sure. Like hands down the most drunk. Maybe not. At least top 3. Where like. I was so belligerently hammered. Like, all of us were. Like, I have a video, and it's, like, Anthony, Rob, Gamma, Hiroki was there. Hiroki was, like, in the bathroom throwing up.
Hiroki.
And, basically, there's a section in front of the DJ that's women only. It's like 3 feet by like 11 feet of like just it's like a here's the floor and it goes up like a foot. So it's just like kind of like an upstage where girls can go up and like dance, but it's only girls. Like in Japan, in America, it's a very progressive place. Gender roles are kind of becoming like, you're either, male, female, transgender, like in America, it's a lot more progressive towards that. It's a lot more open and a lot more like transgender bathrooms and things like that. So you don't see things really in America, really. Maybe in like clubs, they have like ladies' nights and stuff. But even in America, if it was like ladies' nights, I'd feel like if you were like, a male in transition, you could probably say like, I'm female. And they'd probably let you in, like if you're wearing a dress or something. You know what I mean? In America, I feel like they would. In Japan, that shit does not fly. And not that I tried this. I'm just saying, like, it's very, gender roles are very, it's kind of, I look at it like, Mike, what do you think? Like, Japan in a lot of ways was like America in the 1960s.
In the 60s? That's the first time I heard anyone say that.
Here's why I say that. I say that in relation to gender roles into tobacco. And
yeah,
that's about it, I guess.
I
in
can
technology,
see that, yeah.
It's
I can see like some things about that, but not like completely.
No, I just mean that it's not like the most. I don't want to say it's not progressive because it is.
Yeah,
but like socially,
okay,
it's
in that
very.
sense, then, yeah.
Yeah, it's just, and Japan's also just Japanese, so they're not worried about like other cultures like influence. In America, it's a big melting pot where we all have to fight and work together. In Japan, it's like no, we are Japanese. They do have like gay bars and things like that, but it's like men are men, women are women. That's pretty much it in Japan, and everyone smokes cigarettes. So to me, in a lot of ways, it's like this feels like America if it was like 50 years ago. Anyways, basically, I ended up standing on the stage. That's not even what happened. I was so drunk that I walked up and I was talking to a girl that was actually like being really nice, and I put my foot up onto the stage, just like I had my hand on my sides, put my foot up with like one drink, and I was just like, yeah, whatever. And the sick bouncer kept walking over to me, going like, hey, get your foot off the thing. I'm like, oh yeah, sorry. Get it off. 10 seconds later, I'd put it right back on, like not even thinking, because I'm just talking to the girl. And at one point, I like get on the stage, and they're like, dude, you do that again, and like don't. And I did it like 3 times, and then they literally, this is like where it actually was kind of sketched. Oh man. I mean, okay, I won't go into the whole, there's a lot to this next story too, so it's good for another time. But basically, they pulled me aside, kind of Yakuza status, like in the back, like literally like in the stairwell. Him and one other guy, like as backup with his arms like this. And they were saying it in Japanese to me. They're like, if you don't fucking stop, we're kicking you out. And like this is the 3rd time we've told you, and you're not like cooperating. Like you need to stop. And I was like, at that point, I was trying to like sober up and be like, I really apologize. Like, yes, I'm so sorry. Like, it won't happen again. The minute I go back in, I walk directly back on the stage. And they kicked me the fuck out. But there's so much to that story. That was the night my phone broke. It was because
they like broke it, right? And you're
while they were kicking me out, they broke the phone. Yeah. And I got really pissed, and it's embarrassing.
You're pissed.
Dude, I was lit. I got really pissed. And so I lost all my friends, and I fell asleep in a bar. But I made new friends.
Yeah.
This one has a better ending. I met up with some girls, and they took me out to get food. But we'll get into the details of that one another time, because that's actually a good story worth like going into detail. So thank you guys for listening to that, and I hope that's like good later. But that was my embarrassing one time where I was one of those asshole Americans getting kicked out of a Japanese club. And looking back, I felt really stupid. Like I'm outside like arguing with them about breaking my phone, and I'm angry, and like I just felt like I was probably that guy. Yeah, and like it was like, but I just felt like everyone was probably looking, and they're like, "Fuck that guy! What an asshole American! Like fuck
what
that guy!
What a dick! Fucking American! Yeah, fucking get out of the country, man."
So that was one of my embarrassing. But I got a good story out of it. I got a good life lesson, and I can share it with you guys and teach people what not to do. So I think that's pretty good.
Dude, there's a lot of stupid drunk stories.
How are you doing? Fuck. How are you doing on time, Mike, tonight? I'm thinking maybe another like 15 minutes, and we'll probably wrap up tonight's podcast just because we're
at an hour 40 minutes, bro.
I know we've been going, and people have been listening. Shit. Thank you guys. How are you guys doing? Yeah. Let's take a break to the chat.
We've just been talking forever.
I feel like I've been talking forever. I'm sorry, Mike. I'm keeping you kind of on the.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
I'm kind of just scrolling through this. I can give you one trick to learn the Japanese anime.
Dude, some people are like across the world and shit, man. Like.
Yeah,
like
where's
Belgium,
everyone?
France, it's crazy.
Can everyone give a shout out to where they're coming from, or like where are you from? People have been asking me where in America I live. I live just outside of Portland, Oregon. I say Portland, I guess. People are saying keep going. Mike, you're not from Alaska, are you?
Some say I'm from Alaska. I'm from New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Yeah.
You're from Jersey? I
Oh
forgot about
shit.
that. I'm sorry. I keep thinking New York. Why do I keep thinking that?
Nah, man, dude. Everyone. That's what everyone thinks, man. It's all right.
Yeah, you are from Jersey. I knew that. I'm sorry.
I live in the middle of the fucking woods, man. Like, it's
Yeah,
all
I
right.
mean, yeah, I mean, well, I guess I'm in a city now, but I used to.
I plan on
Um,
living in New York, so at
we
least I
got
can
some
sort of
people
plan.
shouting out from New York,
Yeah, fucking
Illinois,
everywhere.
Texas, California, Washington.
Oh, New Jersey.
4 a.m. in Spain from Raquel. Thanks for. How do you say that in a Spanish accent? Raquel?
Raquel.
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 Raquel. That's Italian. Papa Pino, pepperoni. We got Michigan. Did I already say that? Florida, Hawaii, Philly, North
Damn.
Carolina,
Dude, it's like the
BC.
world.
Well, it's
It's
mostly
crazy.
America here, but we got Australia. You're right.
Malaysia, Australia,
Calgary,
Toronto.
Toronto, Virginia.
Damn.
Well, welcome everyone. Thank you guys for listening. Netherlands. Look at this. Wow. This is actually surprising because I
Hey,
post
man.
videos on YouTube, but I don't really. I can see analytically where people are
Yeah,
viewing
yeah, yeah.
from. You know what I mean? It gives you
Uh-huh.
like the information
Yeah,
of
yeah.
where people are viewing from, but like it's actually cool to see, especially like they're in English. They're just like, oh, it's pronounced Raquel, by the way, just a K. You got Denmark. That's really cool. It's weird. Like it's still one of those things like with globalization and technology and just like how
Yeah, man.
easy it's become through like video games and stuff to just connect. Like we're literally just like hanging out with like 60 people from around the world.
Yeah,
Like
it's fucking crazy.
maybe I'm just getting drunk, but like that's just like that's weird. By the way, Mike,
That's awesome, man.
so you know how like all of our stories of Japan are of us like drinking and stuff,
Yeah.
which on the outside might just look like, oh, these guys just party, but it's a big Japanese thing. It's like that's a big part of Japan. If you go to Japan, like you're going out drinking, like
Yeah,
it's a
I
huge
think
part of their
also like
culture.
some of the like more like funny stories are gonna be during drinking.
Of course,
A
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
like a lot of stories not drinking is just like us going like literally traveling to random ass places. We see like a temple when we're both on a train. We're like, yo, let's go there one day, and we just like end up going there.
We did do that.
And
That's another
yeah,
video I haven't
dude.
made. Do
Oh
you
my
remember
god.
the? Do
Yeah,
you
yeah,
remember?
you made a video on that, right?
Yeah,
Like
we
you have footage and shit.
where we took that like tram that went up the hill.
Yeah,
I have all of
it's
that.
crazy, man.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, dude.
I'm gonna have to edit it. I'm not kidding. I've mentioned it like 10 times on my channel. But I have a list here. I have like this sheet,
Hmm.
with my videos that I have yet to make. Upcoming videos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18 videos.
Holy
18
shit.
that I have like full footage for that I haven't like done anything with. So that's
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna have to get, and again like I'm probably not gonna do what do they call it, vlogs day, November or December,
Vlogmas.
vlogmas. Vlogmas.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Vlogmas. No, I can't. Well, I can't. Podcast, sure, maybe. You don't want to hear me every day, trust me. But like, I'd run out of shit
Yeah.
to talk about. But with like the vlogs, it's like that's the reason they haven't come out lately, and it's obvious. I've already mentioned and given like my reasons for it. And I'm in school, I'm working, and my podcasts, I spend at least 3 whole days on them, just because it takes like first day is just looking at all the footage and deleting all the shit I know I for sure don't need. Second day is
Yeah.
taking like all the parts and separating them because it's like funny moments here, transitions here, scene changes here, and you separate them all out. You kind of step back, see what you
Yeah,
have,
man.
construct a story. You know what I mean? You know this. Like you're an editor.
It's a
and,
process, man. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I do video editing and stuff.
yeah, you don't just
Like,
shit it out. It's not a vlog. You don't just like hit like record go. It's like
It's
you have to
quality
construct
over
this shit.
quantity, man.
Yeah, and you got to cheat
Like a
things
perfect-
sometimes. Like you have
Yeah.
to like cheat shots that didn't actually happen at the same time, but you make it look like they did, and it works and it tells
Yeah.
the story. As long as the story's
tough.
told, that's what's important. And like
Especially like
I
like
love it.
if
Though.
you're
It
just
takes
watching
time.
someone on YouTube and stuff, then you kind of just see them as he's just making videos. Like he doesn't have like a fucking life behind that. So like, yo, we fucking work and shit a shit ton. You know, you're always telling me how you're working at trying to make money at like the fucking like bookstore thing. You had to leave it because you're trying to study and shit.
Yeah,
It's tough.
I did. I quit
you
one
know?
of my jobs. It's hard. And it's busy. Like people think that like just sitting on the
Yeah,
internet
dude.
is like an easy thing. Doing this is easy. What we're doing right
Yeah, this
now
is
is the
fun.
definition
This
of
is
easy.
fun and easy.
This is fun as fuck. Thank you guys for letting us do that. What do you think about
Yeah.
IPA beer? I just saw that comment. I live in Portland, so we have it all the time. Like hipsters love it, and it's just I don't know why. It's just like a thing. So at any bar you go to in Portland, the good thing about it is you can get PBRs like for like $2, which is obviously more expensive than, but in a bar that's cheap as fuck. Like a beer normally is like $5 or $6.
definitely.
So you're just like, I just want a cheap thing. And it's like, it's so like watered down that it's almost just like refreshing. Like you still get a little buzz going, but you're just like, maybe at the end of the day, you're just like, oh, I just need like a little something to get the edge up. I don't do this anymore. I was gonna ask you, Mike. You know how most of our stories are from Japan of drinking? Like most of our stories have to do with just being fucking hammered.
Yeah.
After coming back from Japan, I don't drink at all anymore. Like at all. Like I mean, like I do. Like if it's a birthday or every
it's
3 weeks.
It's only like events and stuff.
Only events. I don't just like drink. I used to like, oh, I'm gonna watch some TV and have some whiskey.
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore. I don't do that anymore at all. I lost interest. Like after Japan, I just exhausted my liver so much. Not like in an unhealthy way. It's just like I just got tired of being like hungover every day, and
man.
It was fun while it lasted, and it came with a lot of stories, but it was exhausting. So having a break from that, and well, things are legal now in Oregon too.
Like honestly, we fucking.
We don't have to say it.
Like
I
can't say the same. I can't say the same, and I don't see it coming anytime soon in Jersey. So
it's not gonna come to Japan, and I don't. Yeah. Let's just change subject. So, that's something I always want to talk about, but I choose not to.
I was gonna say. Dude, I'm happy to say after Japan, like, I spent a good amount on credit cards and shit. Like when I got back, how much did you have? Like on, like I don't know if you want to say or anything. Like how much you spent after when you got back? You like left with?
I'll tell you. Well, I mean, like with like school debt. Because
of just like extra shit, you know.
Well, okay, because I wasn't like I didn't have like everything paid, and then all my fun shit was on like a separate card. It was kind of all combined. Yeah. So okay, I'll say this for just Japan, like tuition and shit, and like housing and all that stuff, like not the fun hangout stuff. 15 grand, maybe.
Dude,
it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And
when I came back,
and I spent more on that's just the expenses. Yeah. I'm talking like after that was like drinking, partying, and I don't know if I told you about the story when I went to Tokyo and I dropped $600 in one night. Did I tell you that?
I don't remember that. The fuck, man.
We'll talk about that another time. Well, just you and me. That story is kind of, yeah. And we went really hard that night and bought things we probably shouldn't buy for that price. And but yeah, so keep going. You're gonna say you had credit cards? Yeah.
So when I came back to the fucking States after buying gifts and everything, dude, I maxed out 2 cards at $1,000. So I had $2,000 in debt.
Damn.
And I finally paid it off.
Hey.
Finally.
Do I have an applause? I have that.
Oh, what the fuck?
I don't want to. I finally paid it off. What an idiot.
It was so fucking hard, man.
Dude, that's great. Good for you. I know you were working your ass off when you got back. I kept seeing like your Instagram and your Snapchat, like
swear to God,
hard at work, and you're like scraping gum off of tables and shit. And, are you still working there?
No, I'm actually not. I'm actually I'm cooking at this one cafe. I'm like the grill guy, so yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
So
you mentioned that. You mentioned that.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it was expensive, and like I said, I went to Tokyo and I got really drunk and we bought like really expensive shit, and just nights where I like ran out of money. There was actually a moment where the school had charged me more than I thought. Like they had told me they were only gonna charge me so much for this was in the second semester. They told me like that I was all good, or I thought they did, for my like paying off my homestay. So I was like, shit, I actually have a lot of extra spending money. So that's partly why I went to Tokyo and just like spent a bunch of money, because I was like, it was like my money that I raised. So I was like, fuck it, I'm using it, like whatever I want to use it for. And then at the end of the semester, they're like, all right, you owe us $2,800, Eric. Where is that? And I'm like, excuse me. So I had to call my parents because I was literally broke, and that was really embarrassing. But that was like one of the issues with just like I mentioned in one of my podcasts, that was one of the biggest issues was like financial aid and stuff. Relying on financial aid was really hard for me, because I didn't really know how much I had. So like I said, I would go and I thought I had more money, so I went and spent some because I was in Japan. I wanted to have fun, and then they told me I owed a bunch of money, so I had to call my parents. And like luckily, like I have 3 brothers, and so it's hard for my parents to like they're not like paying for all of our school, but like when they can, they're like, hey, here's a few $100s, like here's some food money. You know, they'll try to help us out when they can, but like we're all struggling, like we're all in debt. and even my
Yeah.
parents are just trying to get by. So it's like I don't expect much. But in that time, they're like, Eric, like this might be kind of like Christmas and birthday and combined, but we can help pay for it. So I still had to pay a lot on my end, but they like helped me out with like a couple grand, and I was like, damn. So they were like, that's basically like our help for school for the year or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that works out, but I'm still really bummed out because it was,
Mhm.
Japan
Yo.
was very expensive.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure.
We got a good question from our boy Masa here.
Oh, Masa.
Which is better, Tokyo or Osaka?
I think we all know the answer to that.
Yeah, I think we do too.
Yeah, I don't know how to. I was gonna find like a good like.
We're just gonna leave it at that.
It is Osaka. Yeah, I don't know that. I think Osaka, and I actually say that like, I mean, I'm biased because both you and I live there, so we're probably biased
Yeah.
for that. Did you go to Tokyo at all, Mike?
I haven't, but just
You don't have
like
to go.
I honestly, I
Don't
want
go.
to experience it. No, I want to go. Like
You should.
I want to at least
It's
like
fun.
experience it.
I'm not saying you shouldn't go to Tokyo. It's fun.
Yeah.
I think if I had to choose a place to live, Osaka for sure. Place to go
Yeah.
travel for 2 weeks, maybe Tokyo actually. Like maybe just because it's like
I
for
think
foreigners.
definitely. Yeah, I think
It's-
Tokyo is really good for like short trip,
Yeah.
but like for a longer trip, Osaka is definitely like I don't know more worthwhile for a long
So-
time.
Someone asked, Mike, did you go to USJ?
I actually did not go to USJ.
I
And
went once.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
You're
I'm not
fine.
like crazy on like theme parks and stuff. So, and I was trying to sort of save money.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
even though like I've literally went to like a concert, dude. I have to talk about that. Oh my god.
Yeah, you can mention that. You went to
Dude,
the Sakanaction.
Yeah. So there's this band that my brother actually put me onto. They're called Sakana
Sakanaction.
Action. It means like fish action. Means sounds really stupid, but they make like this weird rock poppy kind of synthy music, and it's fucking like it's great. I love it. And I showed it to Eric too, and you like it too, right?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now.
Dude,
going.
and basically I'll keep it short because we've been doing fucking long ass stories. I wanted to see them live. That was like one of my big things I wanted to fucking do when I came here. At least see a concert because I'm into concerts like going to New York City. They're all over the place. So I literally went to I don't like you can probably search it. There it was right on this like the venue. It's called Lake Biwa. And dude, this place is in the middle of fucking like nowhere. I was riding through like when you this is kind of it's gonna be longer, but when you first land in Japan, you see like all the mountains surrounding like just surrounding you. You see like the whole city when you're riding in because you take a train overseas and you kind of get like an elevated view of like all the cities and stuff near the airport, and you just see huge mountains. It's the first thing I remember, dude. I went through the mountains and shit. There was like tunnels going through, and
That's so
I just
sick.
ended up.
Japan
It was
has
like
so many
2 hours.
mountains.
Yeah, it was 2 hours on a fucking like random local trains in the middle of like Japan. I have no idea where I am in the middle of like old country and shit, and I end up on this like place. I'm like, I guess I'm here, and all I had was my phone, and I was alone. And I went here. I was like an hour early. I was walking around. I have like pictures and everything. I have a lot of old pictures on my Instagram actually. And I have I think a couple of like the venue and everything there.
I'm gonna
But, dude,
like next time we ever do like a podcast and we know we're gonna tell some stories.
Yeah.
I'll bring up some photos and we can like show the
Yeah,
people. I think
definitely.
that'd be really.
That'd be a
I would
good
love to
idea.
show them what you're talking about. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, and dude, it was concerts in Japan. It's like literally I don't know how to fucking explain. I was the only fucking foreign person there. And I don't know, I was first in line. It was fucking insane. And it was like this small concert hall. And this is like a really big like band in Japan. And everyone like they have like almost like 20 million views on each of their like videos and stuff on
They're
YouTube
really
in
popular.
Japan and stuff.
They're really popular.
Yeah, they're pretty popular. And I paid like $100 for a ticket. I went there and dude, the people are fucking crazy. I don't know how these people like there's like dances to every song. It's like it's almost like everyone is part of this little fan club that they all know this like certain dance to like every song and shit, and they're all standing. Everyone's fucking standing. No one phones aren't allowed, cameras aren't allowed.
That's another
And
thing. Remember
and
you
I-
and I we
I-
went to another concert and
Yeah,
we
yeah.
noticed that that's like a huge thing in Japan at a concert for like
Yeah, it's like-
plagiarism.
it's
You're not
really,
allowed
like-
to record the show at all.
Yeah, and of course I fucking recorded. So
Yeah, you did. You snuck in
yeah,
some
I have
your
some
DSLR.
pictures and some
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
That's
people are
good.
asking the name of the
But-
band. I'll throw it in.
Yeah, type it in.
Go ahead and keep talking.
Sakana Action and dude, I don't know. The show was fucking insane. The venue was fucking insane. The cool thing about the venue, after the whole show was done, they they had like kind of like a Q&A session, and people were like talking stuff, and like they asked like, oh, who's from Japan here? Who's from like America? And he kind of laughed, and I was like, yeah, and like he was like, whoa, what the fuck? And like he was really surprised and shit, and like I was like the only one I think, but
That's so
they
cool.
were talking about like
So wait, the
I think
singer said that?
yeah, the singer had like a Q&A session. Like he asked like, "Where's everyone from?" And like people were like, "Yeah, Japan." And then someone's like, "Anywhere else?" And like I'm like, "America!" And
Dude,
like I
he
don't know,
was
everyone's
probably
like,
like,
"Holy
"What the
shit!"
fuck? Why are you here?" Like, yeah,
Yeah, he's
like,
probably so
because it's
confused.
it's a really Japanese band too. Like, no one in
Yeah, it's
America is
super
gonna know
Japanese.
them. That's so cool.
Yeah, and he showed like the acoustics of the venue, which like I don't know if anyone's really into like audio stuff, but like he snapped like in the area that he was in behind the stage, and like you couldn't hear it. No, you could hear it, and when he snapped like outside into the crowd, kind of, you couldn't hear a thing. So like it just showed how crazy like the venue was and everything. It was a fucking crazy experience. If you ever go to Japan, like you like music, you like going to live concerts, it's a whole new fucking experience, and I totally recommend it.
You and I, we went to a show that wasn't nearly, probably not nearly as cool.
Oh my god, dude! I totally forgot about that. To be honest, it was fucking.
It was weird,
I
but it
just.
was fun. Like
Oh,
it was
it
like
was insane.
it was long. I'll like very long story short. We had basically this Japanese girl that we were mutual friends with, but she kind of has like the like how can I say? She was like 21, 22, but had kind of the personality of like a 13-year-old. Like she was really short, always
Damn,
smiling, always no, well, maybe not
Eric, you're
13,
savage.
maybe not 13, but like you know what I mean? She was just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
She was really,
yeah.
really young. And she was just like, hey,
She
I'm going
acted
to a
like.
concert. Are you going to come with me? And I'm like, yeah, Mike, you want to go? So we all went. And she was so into it. She's just like, yeah. Like she loved
Dude,
this show.
no, dude, you're skipping a whole. Dude, this shit was in Kobe,
Yeah, it
which was
was. It
like
was in Kobe.
2 hours away.
It was
It's like a
far.
long ass train ride, but dude, like that was the first time we got to go to Kobe. We ate the Kobe beef, and it
Dude.
was fucking crazy, dude. And that was
Kobe's a
like a
great
school
place to
festival.
visit. Kobe's
I wrote a
great.
fucking paper about that for Hester, bro.
Did you really?
Yeah,
Yeah, dude, that was fun.
it's
And
crazy.
basically we went out to Kobe, yeah, and we this is another story where we were hungover, where we showed up and I
Yeah.
was like, dude, Mike, she wants to go to this concert, but
Mm.
like I'm so hungover, let's just bail. Like she can just go, but with her, because she had
Yeah.
like plans, she had like friends, she was meeting like her sister, and her mom was there, and like I was like, dude, she's meeting her family. Let's just tell them that we're going. Let's just tell them that we're like gonna go to a cafe because we wanted to, and like that'll be it. And when we tried to tell her, she was so sad. Like it wasn't happening. Like she was so just like, wait, you're not coming? And I was like, oh, but like I don't know. And yeah. But so we ended up going, and it was basically like this like screamo band, which in America like hasn't really been, you know, screamo bands were kind of a big thing when I was like in high school. Um,
I
so
hate
there,
screamo.
yeah, and so I'm like over it now. And in America, it's just not very popular. So I was just surprised. But basically, there was a lot of people that showed up. It was a free show at a college in the Kobe College, and like you said, like it was built within the hills. So like probably part of your commute to
Yeah.
get to where you went, it like kind of was like this, where like the college is literally built into the mountain.
Yeah, it's on a mountain.
Yeah, and when you turn around, you can see the whole. It's in a minato. How do you say it in English? Like a port, I guess, like a port, like with
Yeah,
water.
yeah.
Yeah, they say minato, which is like a just like a water port with like boats and shit. And yeah, it was just beautiful. So you could see the whole thing, and then the show itself was just there was a lot of kids, but it was a free show, so it was a lot of college kids that showed up, and we just showed up, and it was like you said, there was for there wasn't like a dance for each song, but there was this one dance that all the kids in the crowd kept doing, like where they were standing there and like flailing there, like, but it was like they were all in sync and they knew what they were doing, but it was kind of like
Yeah,
a head
man.
bobbing song, so it's like run, 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 and everyone's like dun, 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 run, and like. And I was just like, there's one. I'm actually gonna pull it up. Like, you could probably talk while I find this. I have one Instagram post where
Dude, oh my
where we're
god.
moshing, and I'm like, it's like I found a concert in Japan, and it's just me like shouting.
Dude, it's
Let me
the
find it,
funniest shit in the world.
dude.
Yeah,
That
find it. It's crazy.
it won't take me long. Give me 1 second here.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
Dude, but it was
so funny.
Yeah.
It was a lot of
But
fun though,
about
and like we said, it was like a very different experience. Like in Japan, everyone in America, it's kind of like mosh pits, and like probably in Europe, probably
yeah.
anywhere in the world. And in Japan, it's literally like everyone in the audience, they like point and they pump their arms literally like together, like
Yeah. I
oh,
don't
this
know
song's
how they
happening.
fucking do it, dude.
Yeah, there's so much like teamwork involved with it, and so much like
Yeah.
collaboration. I don't. It's. I mean, I see it use. It is weird, but like to me, it's weird. But it's like
I think it's weird, man. No one does that in the States.
no.
Like
Well, in America,
it's all like
it's all
phones
about
and shit, you
it's
know?
all about individualism too. Or
And
individuality. So it's
and the
like
girl's mom is just like there in the back. She's like, "Are you guys having fun?"
I was like, fuck yeah, this is sick. We were going crazy, and like it to me like it almost like seeing like a crowd all like in unison. It's almost like fake. It's like what are you
Yeah.
even doing? Like you're not even expressing yourself. Like everyone's doing it the same. Like but in that way they are kind of because they're all supporting like the show as a whole, and they're
Yeah.
supporting the band by not taking photos because they sell the photos to make money and like the videos for the shows and stuff. So you're not allowed to. That's why you're
Yeah.
not allowed to take photos. I don't know. It was just a different like side of that culture. I was like, well, this, but it was like to them, it was so, um, I don't know,
Yeah. I think it's like super respectful of like the bands and
of the
everything,
band
the artists.
itself. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I saw. I found that video by the way. So this is us.
Dude.
This is probably gonna be really loud, so I apologize. I'm gonna show it to the. I'm gonna like pop it to the camera. I hope. I don't even know if it's gonna pop up. Sorry, I'm sorry. This is the most unprofessional shit ever. But let's try
Yeah.
to. I'll let it. It plays on a loop, so I'll let it play a couple times. Here we go. So let's see if this pops up. I'll play one more time. So this is us in the best part of that is it just ends like really abruptly after me
Yeah.
like shouting. But it's basically just us in a mosh pit and everyone we were the I think two of the four white guys there. Because I saw two other foreigners there, but they were probably there studying abroad at that school.
Yeah, they're
I would
probably like
imagine.
Japanese.
And they gave us the dirtiest look ever. They gave us the stink eye. Other foreign, Mike, big question for you. While in Japan, did you also maybe this was just? I mean, I was there a little longer, and like, did you ever notice like if you were like downtown or something and there was another foreigner, was there kind of like dirty stares, as in like, what are you doing here? Like,
From other foreigners?
right, other foreigners. That's
Uh,
something I noticed very specifically. Like in a sense,
think-
kind of. I got the
I
vibe.
think yeah, I feel like there's a lot of like people are I don't know, people especially if you find some random foreigner that like you have no idea who he is, he's not from like your school or anything.
Right.
They get pretty defensive at like I'm the fucking foreigner here, you know? Like I'm the only one.
That's exactly it.
Like they can't have another foreigner here. It's
Like,
like
they-
it's got to be me. Like no
literally
one can
meet
get
people.
attention.
They'd literally defend themselves as in like, oh, I'm here
Yeah.
doing this. I'm here for this. Why are you here?
That's a mark bar. That's pulling a mark bar.
That's what we call pulling a mark bar. Hey. And no, that's a thing. Like I'd be downtown and you'd see other foreigners and they just give you that look of just like, this is my
Yeah.
spot. I found this country. I found this culture. Get out of here. And I'm like, I mean, I understand. It's fun sometimes being the only foreigner in the room, and if there's another foreigner, you're like, oh, I wish he wasn't here. I get it. It's selfish as fuck though, and like I just.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's like, dude, like I don't know. That's just something I noticed. I just wondered if you noticed the same thing. It's a thing. Foreigners, they like. There's kind of like competition among them. Foreigners in Japan.
Yeah,
They'll show off
I
their
think so.
Japanese to each other. They'll explain why they're there. They always show off like that
I
they
feel-
know things about Japan. It's
Honestly,
weird.
I feel
I don't
like
know
that's
why.
not even that's not only like in Japan. I feel like that's everywhere. Like even like in the States. Like people try to like be better than each other, you know what I mean? And like especially with like girls and shit. So like I don't know. I guess in Japan it's more about like the culture kind of thing. I haven't really met people because since I'm like not the greatest Japanese, I'm kind of like yeah, I can't really speak that much, so like I have nothing to say. So it doesn't really.
Yeah, but you were out exploring and
few.
like really into the culture, and you went to concerts
that's
by
true.
yourself without speaking a lick. And like, I mean, you speak
Yeah,
a
that's
little
true.
bit, but like, you know what I mean? Like,
That's just like confidence and like being able to do something.
yeah, and you know, and again, I tell people on the channel like, you know, you don't have to you take everything we say with grains of salt, but like, not everyone is built to like be confident enough to like go into Japanese restaurants even though you can't speak and like order
yeah.
food. It's not for everyone, and it's scary, and even for us, it's really scary. But like, for us, it was like we both felt like we had like when we met, I kind of just realized like talking to Mike, I was just like, Dude, we seem to have like very similar interests in why we're here. We seem to have very
Yeah.
similar like goals for what we want out of like while we're here. We don't want to waste it. We want to go out every day we can. If the weather's good, we are not in the house. And
Yeah.
there's some days we spent fucking around, but it was usually when nothing was happening or we were playing video games or something like. But we bought those games like Japanese games, and we're trying to, I don't know, like we tried to make like use of whatever time we had to do stuff. And I thought that was one of the biggest like I thought that was one of the coolest things, and why like I called you like the first day of like good weather was like, dude, are we going to Kyoto? And that was like
Dude.
that was actually one of the first days we actually like hung out a whole day, I think. And I had a lot of fun.
Dude, and we just like we went to every fucking temple and shit. It's crazy.
Dude, we went to like every temple, and then like by the end we just like sipped on beers and like bumped like we listened to an artist. If you guys have ever listened or ever seen, there's an anime, it's kind of older now. But it's called Samurai Champloo. I'm not a huge advocate for anime, even though I study like Japanese. People always ask like, what anime do you watch and stuff. To be honest, I don't really watch anime. I've seen I watch as much as like any average like very like casual viewer. Like I watched Pokemon growing up. I watched Yu-Gi-Oh. I watched in high school. I watched Death Note. I like Death Note a lot. I watched Bleach. Bleach was cool. But when my favorite anime though, not that I've seen a whole lot. I guess it's two, but they go together. Is Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo because they're by the same director. If you haven't seen it, I really, 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 really recommend it. If you like hip hop or anything like that, you're gonna love it. It's
man.
basically a setting of a story set in like Edo period Japan, but it's incorporated with like hip hop. And there's even moments where like the kind of like the vassals, like people that are like a daimyo lord, basically like the guys who like the samurai lords or whatever that like are like, you know, men in power. There'd be like people like carrying him kind of like on a thing, and they'll just be beatboxing, like they're just walking like down the street just like and they get like interrupted because something happens in the story. And it's a really cool, really unique like take on storytelling.
Like the art direction, like everything's fucking like spotless.
The fight scenes are incredibly sick.
Dude,
in the first episode,
it's crazy.
It's like, and they're just like, dude, it's the coolest shit.
Dude,
there's an artist. Go ahead.
The main guy. What was the main guy? Fucking the main guy's name?
Like
fucking,
Mugen?
Yeah. Dude, supposedly like they were like influenced like the movements and stuff off like real like Bruce Lee's like movements and everything, different like martial arts and everything.
I totally
like, they took like
that.
a lot of they took a lot of influence and stuff and actually tried to make it like realistic and shit. It's really
cool.
It's
a really sick anime. It's really well done, and I've seen it multiple times, and I still watch it from time to time. I think it's only 2 seasons, so it's short, so you can finish it. And it's not like it has like the most compelling story. It's more just like the environment's really cool. But one of the main artists that was in it, there's a few, but one of the main ones, his name is Nujabes. I guess I can type it in. For anyone listening on the SoundCloud, if there's, I guess I'm posting this to SoundCloud. I apologize to anyone who is like. This probably would only be entertaining watching as a video, but like this is gonna be over 2 hours. But anyways, it's Nujabes. Is one of my favorite artists. It's not. He's more of a producer. Maybe he's not an artist. I'd call him a producer. He passed away, unfortunately, a few years back in a traffic accident. I think he was getting like off a plane and he was getting in a car to like go home. He was Japanese. His name was Seiba Jun, and if you spell that backwards, it's Nujabes. And he was a really big prior for me going to Japan after seeing like Samurai Champloo like in high school and stuff. He was a really big, how do you say, like, I think a lot of people who go to Japan, like, Mike said when he went, he knew about Sakanaction, like, the band that he went to go see, and, like, you kind of go with, you know, you can only prepare yourself so much, mentally and kind of, like, what it's really going to be like and, like, trying to avoid culture shock. And for me, one of the biggest things I did was I listened to a lot of Nujabes just because it was, like, the style is very, like, zen, but very hip-hop and very chill. And I listened to it a lot prior to going. So while I was in Japan, there'd be moments where it's just like if I'm just chilling, or I'm reflecting on something, or like I had a friend pass away a couple years ago, and I gave him a shout out I made a video about the sakura, the cherry blossom viewing, hanami, where I gave him a shout out at the end. And around that time, I was really having kind of a hard time like reflecting on that because he was a good friend of mine, and he unfortunately fell asleep driving a couple years back. But just in like moments like that where I'd just be kind of sitting there and like thinking about it, or maybe I'd hop on the phone and like talk to someone, having that
Yeah.
just in the background was just like the coolest. I don't know,
Yeah, it like
man.
it fits so well with like the atmosphere of Japan. Like I don't know.
My image of Japan
Especially
really, yeah.
yeah, dude, like
Nujabes.
when remember when we were going on the we went to the fucking bridge, the Katana Bridge,
Hmm.
and we went
Right.
like when we were walking and we were like playing it and we're just like going like on a fucking random road and we're like walking.
Yeah.
Remember that shit?
Yeah. I know. I
Dude, like
totally do.
and we were just bumping it and everything. Oh my God.
We're literally just bumping Nujabes and like yeah, just going to temples and that one temple we went to that was like off the beaten path. We walked around and just like
Yeah.
we're just like, dude, like um, the only thing you want in those moments is like weed. You're just like, dude, I wish I had some weed. This would be so chill. Yeah, no, we just be sipping. We just be sipping on like beers or like whiskey or something, and just like sit back on that, and it's just like the perfect, just like I don't know, man. So, anyways, I don't know even why I got into that. What was I saying? Um, why was I playing New Job as? Oh, just us. I think just us walking around. Like so, basically,
Yeah.
when I mentioned New Job as to Mike, and he knew exactly what I was talking about. So we would bump it whenever we're at at those moments where we're kind of stopping, like
Yeah.
um, when we're looking out at the scenery by that like Buddha statue in Kyoto. There was like one day where we went out. It was like at the end of the day, and we're just overlooking like the whole city and just bumping that. We're just like, dude, like
Yeah.
this is the
We're here,
dream.
man.
We're
We're
here.
fucking
Like this
here.
is sick. So, dude, Mike, I had a lot of fun doing this. This was a
Yeah.
little bit
I think
ghetto.
it's time to wrap it up.
We kind of slapped it together last minute. And I apologize. We wanted like my intention was to throw the chat room down here under Mike. This is basically what we're gonna do from here. I'm gonna let Mike take off. It's been 2 hours. It's kind of later for him on the other side. I'm gonna go ahead and sign him off. I'm gonna stay on for a little bit and chill with you guys in the chat for about 15 minutes, and then we'll wrap up the stream. So thank you guys for hanging out with my boy Mike up to this point. And Mike, thanks for. I mean, like you're a homie, so I don't have to like treat you like a guest. Thanks for
Yeah.
being on the show, Mike. We'll see you again, huh? Like,
Anytime, Eric.
yeah, no, but like good to see you. And like we're probably gonna do another one of these with like we got to get Anthony
Yeah.
on the line because
Yeah, man.
Anthony, he's I don't know if he's still in the chat. He was here earlier. He's another good friend of ours, Anthony. He has equally, if not even better, like just the way he tells stories are so hilarious. So, we'll have to get him on another time. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, like I'm gonna be updating this. Doing these things live obviously means that I have a lot less control and I have to like do things on the fly. But I want to get it set up a little bit more properly next time. Unfortunately, we were a little jank today, but it went well, I think. And I think you can hear us. The connection's good. Mike, you came in clear, and we got some stories in.
Yep.
But it's getting a little long, so let's go ahead and call it a day for our guest here. And thanks again, Mike, for hanging out. And I hope you guys enjoyed his company.
Yeah, man. So
Do you have any
super happy
shout
to,
outs or
like,
anything? Any sign off stuff? Anything you want to plug?
Yeah, yeah.
You have a
You know,
YouTube channel, right?
I was just about to go into it, but you no, but basically, thanks for like inviting me, man. Honestly, like I support the channel like fully, the podcast. Everything's been cool. I've been listening to it while I'm working and everything. And
Thank you.
it's honestly dope that we fucking like met in Japan and like it's crazy how even after a year we're still talking and doing shit like this, you know what I mean? And we have a bunch of different friends that we could have like Anthony and shit and anyone else to fucking come on. And it's just super dope. And I look forward to all the shit you're doing. For me, I'm kind of like, I mean, right now for me in life, I'm kind of just working and shit. Hoping to put out a lot more videos and stuff. I actually do like some beat making and like hip hop because I'm a fucking like hip hop head. I used to listen to just straight beats for like at least 2 years of my life, like straight continuously. I make some music. I have some stuff on SoundCloud. I'm trying to like advance with that though. So a lot of stuff on there is old. If you want to look that up, it's gonna be Mnowiki Prod. So MNOWICKI PROD.
Feel free to plug it in the chat too if you want. I feel like I'll make
Yeah,
a typo
sure, no
if
problem.
you want to do that.
Yeah, all good. If you want to follow me on YouTube, I'm probably gonna post stuff on there. I have a lot of like footage and stuff too. I have a video on Japan as well.
You do.
In like a travel series. It's called
Dude.
Spaces. This is my series, and it's basically just about what I experienced, like video wise in Japan. It's kind of like an overview. I do a lot of like time lapses and stuff in Japan, and I try to make it into like a cohesive kind of visual story of like my time there. And yeah, my channel is Mike Nowicki. The thing's on the screen, I'm pretty sure. On Instagram, I do photography and stuff. same thing, Mike Nowicki, if you just want to follow. But it's been super awesome. I'm glad. I hope everyone liked it. And yeah, thanks a lot for having me, man.
I just plugged your video because it is really sick, and that's a video I've actually when I first got back from Japan. I was so jealous that I didn't have like a DSLR because I recorded all my stuff on a
Yeah,
GoPro. So there'd be some days where I'd have like really cool like scenery, but I could only get like the fisheye lens time lapse, and it's like it looks good, but it's like the same. And you were able to like
yeah.
you went on that. There's that shot. I'm gonna skim through it. If you guys go into his video, there's a shot where he's like in the mountains. Let me find it. It's at like 4 minutes. Well, it kind of funny timing, but it's actually at, like right at 4:20. If you go to 4 minutes and 20 seconds,
Damn it, Eric!
the music just kicks back in. Oh, it's just it's like piano music, and it's just him like on the top of like mountains. That is basically all we sought out. And actually, if you were listening to the podcast all tonight, he was discussing the concert that he went to. At the end, at about like 5 minutes and like 10 seconds, there's footage from that concert. So if you guys want to like see exactly what he was talking about, one of my favorite Japanese bands since you introduced it, and I think we both had very similar interests while we were in Japan. We both were kind of seeking the same thing, the same kind of places. And you had a nicer camera than I did, so you captured some really nice shit. And so check out that video because that basically sums up, I don't know, kind of what we sought after in Japan. Like that video really sums up for me. Like this is it. Like this was Osaka for me in those moments of like not drinking and not all that shit. Just like this is why I'm here. I'm so stoked, and I hope I can live here someday.
Dude, one thing I was pissed about, I didn't get enough footage of Namba. Like, I have nothing of Namba. I don't know
Me
how.
too. I don't have any
Yeah,
because
right?
we were already
Like, I
because
feel
we
like
were
I
always
went,
busy.
we went down there to party and shit.
Yeah, we went down there to party, and I didn't
So
want to have a camera. I just felt weird, and like I know it's a tourist place, but I didn't want to go into clubs with like a selfie stick and like shove it in people's faces. I just felt like I'd just get it like in fights, and like I don't know, I just didn't do it. But I'm gonna be for like 15 minutes before I sign off. I'll be discussing kind of my plans. I may be going back. Mike, I kind of told you. I think I posted on like Snapchat. I may have found a job in Osaka, maybe, but we're still.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I don't want to like.
Holy shit.
I didn't even want to say it on here tonight because I don't want to
Yeah.
establish it because it's not like they said like the job's available, but until I'm actually there and have the job and like I'm all set up, I don't want to like get too excited because you never know. So
Yeah.
I'll be
I know what you mean.
I'll be kind of talking with them about that a little bit, but I probably shouldn't even gone into it. I didn't really want to bring it up, but because it'll be embarrassing if it falls through. But
Well, look, man. For now, congratulations, man.
Thank you. And if it happens, I'll say this: if it happens, my housing is 15 minutes from Tennoji Station, which is like
What?
10 minutes walking from Namba.
Dude. Dude.
How nuts is
hope
that, dude?
Fucking do that, man.
That's
I hope
literally
you get
like
that.
I'm like upgrading. Like I used to live in the homestay like an hour away. Yeah, dude. You come on by.
Pray for you.
You
do
come
that
on
shit,
by.
bro.
You come on by. I'll house you in whatever place I'm in. It might be a share house, but dude,
Dude,
you have a
that sounds
place.
dope, man.
Yeah, so hopefully that works out. I don't want to like get
man.
into too much detail with that just because it
Best
hasn't
of luck,
really
man.
been solidified. But thank you. Thanks for joining, Mike. Good to see you, dude. And actually, I'm gonna see you in December, right?
Oh,
no?
yeah, dude. You're coming to the city. No,
I'm coming in.
definitely,
I'm
man.
not coming to Jersey. I'm coming to New York though. But we have an
coming to
Airbnb.
New-
We have an Airbnb if you want in. We have it for 5
Yo, I'm
people,
down.
but anyone
I'm
can
down.
join.
I took off already, man.
Fuck yeah. So we have it for like
down, man.
I think for New Year's night, and then like the night of the first, we have an Airbnb apartment. So it's like our own place. And Anthony's coming. My friend Brett and his girlfriend, who are really cool, they're coming. They've been traveling Europe for a year, and they're meeting.
Oh, that's sick.
They're like coming back to New York from Europe, and we're gonna hang out with them. It's gonna be fun. They're really cool. You'll
hopefully
like
we can record something maybe.
Oh, we're recording. Like I'm bringing the camera. We're doing, and I have like 3 days after. The reason we did 2 days was for like a recovery hangover day. So if you have an extra day to hang out, we have 2 nights there, and then 3 days after that, I'm staying by myself in a hostel near Central Park for really cheap, actually.
Dude, I can visit you there fucking whenever, dude.
I can even give you the hostel like address, and you can figure it out. And if you want to stay, you like live there, so you don't have to. But, like,
is Ant gonna be there like with you at the hostel? Or is anyone
not at
gonna
the
be
hostel.
there with you?
He might join, but like as of right now, we don't. I'm just there by myself. But I told him the place, and if he wants to like stay, he can.
Dude, this I just read the guy's comment. This feels like a Skype call.
Sorry guys. Yeah. This is
Yo, you want to hang out, Eric?
yes, we're going over our plans. We're gonna be hanging out over winter break, and again, like you were saying, it's so cool. It's like even though it's been like a year, like we still just
Yeah.
like start talking, and it's like as if we haven't like one, as if we're not on other ends of the country. Two, as if we haven't seen each other in like a year, and
Yeah,
fucking
man.
like we're gonna hang out with Anthony, you and me in New York City on New Year's, and it's gonna be, dude, it's gonna be insane. Like I can't
Dude,
wait. I'm
it gets
so
fucking
excited.
crazy.
Dude, we're gonna see the ball drop in like Times Square. I know it's like
To me, like being from around here, it's like I don't give a fuck about that.
for me that's like a huge deal. That's like the only
Yeah,
time
man.
I'll go, and I'm so excited. I'm stoked. So I'm saving up money.
Yo,
Um,
actually, from you saying that, I just wanted to add, like, to any of you guys in the chat right now. I know it's only like I see like 50 people right now. If you're in college or whatever, how old are you? Like, if you're in school right now, a lot of like Eric's like videos and stuff. I hope it like inspires some people to like study abroad, and like if you have any like small interest in Japan or any country like in the world, like if you're at college and you're not thinking about studying abroad, I highly suggest you like at least go to like your study abroad, whatever administration or office. I know like a lot of places around the country, especially like Europe and stuff, doesn't really offer some things, but if there's any sort of chance you can go somewhere else in the world, I think it's one of the best experiences you could like ever experience in your life. And like for me, it changed my life. And I don't know, it made me meet a lot of people that I'm still like friends with now. And like I wouldn't take that shit back. And yeah, I just want to say that.
that goes double for me. I wish I was looking for a sound effect that is like a cheering, almost like a motivational speech, just like yeah, fuck yeah,
Just do the
like,
scream.
just it doesn't fit at all. I'm gonna update the soundboard, Mike, because this was fun as fuck. We're gonna do this again.
Yeah, man, I'm down. Whenever.
I'm seriously like, we'll figure out dates and I'll call you. And again, I thank you for the time, because I know this is like technically on my channel, but I hope I can plug whatever you have, and I hope it's fun for you. And I had a good time. So I mean,
Yeah, I had a great time, man. It's awesome.
my dinky little channel here. So thank you for willing to do that. This is really fun. And like I said, this is lazier than the podcast, so it's just easy for me. We're just drinking and like talking. So
Yeah, totally.
it's relaxing. So thanks, Mike.
Yeah, I love podcasts, so yeah. I'm
Good
I'm
shit.
down for any time, dude.
Good shit. All right, boss. I guess with that, we'll let you go.
Yeah.
You have a good
Yep.
night.
Hey, man.
Hey,
Should I
do you play
should I
Rocket
just
League?
leave?
Do you play Rocket League?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna be playing with a friend before I go to bed if you want to play, but it's
Nah,
fun game.
man.
All good.
Sorry.
All good. I'll play with the viewers sometime. It's a fun game.
Yeah.
But all right, dude. Thanks. Like for real.
Hey, dude.
I'll talk to you later, like probably tomorrow
Yeah,
or
dude.
whatever. So, all right, dude. Have a
Definitely.
good night.
Peace. Should I
Peace.
just like leave?
Yeah, I'll turn off your webcam here. Your webcam's
Alright,
off.
cool.
Oh, that's my webcam. You're officially gone. All right, dude. Thanks for
All
joining.
right, peace.
Have a good night.
You too.
All right, you guys. Well, that was the I have the chat now. It's just me and you guys. That was my boy Mike again. Thank you guys for letting him join. That was a lot of fun. I haven't seen him or we haven't talked about that in a while, like that, those kinds of stories. But basically, like the whole time we were in Japan, that's like basically, basically like what you just heard us, like those stories and like us laughing and drinking, like that's all we did on like the days off that we weren't doing shit. It's just like, dude, remember that one time? Dude, remember that one time? So much fun. Shout out question. Don't be shy, dudettes. I have a question, but I have to go eat dinner. Have a good night. Thank you for watching. I love Rocket League. Yeah, now that I guess we told some stories, we shot some shit and went over some stuff. If you guys have any questions, do you guys have any like follow-up questions? I guess I know you guys probably asked a lot of questions throughout that, but we couldn't like monitor all of it. So I'm kind of scrolling through the questions here just to see if you guys have anything, because I apologize. And I know this is long, so I'm still trying to figure out how this is going to work, because I really like doing the live streaming. But I don't know if are we going to keep this as a part of the podcast? Like, do you guys mind it being this long? Is this okay? Like, would you actually listen to this? Yeah, because I know it's different. Like, in my other podcasts, they're like an hour. And if maybe someone's, like, on their way to work, driving, and they like, oh, this sounds like an interesting topic, and they listen to it, and it ends, and it has, like, it's still kind of random, but it's at least kind of short. If you guys, like, want me to post more stuff like this, and you're fine with it, especially to like SoundCloud and stuff. Like, I mean, let me know because I don't know. I want to know. People were asking me about USJ, which is Universal Studios Japan. They're like, "What were your thoughts?" It was fun. It's funny in Japan right now. Like in America, okay, in comparison to America, so like in America, like California. I mean, I know there's theme parks throughout all of America and kind of like the bigger areas. The East Coast has a lot, but in America, like Disney is definitely considered more popular than like Universal Studios. Like Disneyland, Disney World, I guess those are the only two in America. But they're a lot more popular. Like Universal Studios is fun, but it's not really known as like this place to like you wouldn't like, yeah, we're going to Universal Studios. At least not in my experience. Like I never thought that growing up. But in Japan right now, at least while I was there, Universal Studios had much, much more popularity than Disneyland did. Like much more. Like it was the cool, like you would choose Universal Studios Japan over Tokyo Disney like any day. And I went to both, so I can actually speak. I didn't make a video for USJ. I did do one for Disneyland, but for whatever reason, I decided not to do one for USJ. When I go back, I will at some point. I'll do one. But the majority of it was just standing in lines. I think we rode on like 3 rides throughout the whole day. We were waiting in line for like 3 hours for each ride. So it was fun because I was with good friends, but at the end of the day, it was like just a tiring day. But it was a really cool park. They had the Harry Potter land, and I think they have that in the American one too. That was really, really cool. They had the flying dinosaur ride, the flying dinosaur. It was the really cool ride in USJ. That was a lot of fun. It was like you're basically like there's a pterodactyl on your back, and his talons are what hook you into the ride. So it's kind of you felt like you're like whoa, and you're getting like that was really fun. Just going through the comments here, just looking. We went back a little bit. Full-time Panda says, Eric, I'm studying abroad next year, and I'm taking my first Japanese class, and everyone in the class is getting everything so much faster than me. It's very discouraging. They are so alpha about it. Don't let that discourage you, is my advice. I think that's probably pretty generic advice, but like, languages are one of those things where like, for some people, it's simply just harder than others. And I'm not telling you that it's going to be harder for you. But maybe like the first stages of Japanese will be harder for you, and then once you get past the foundation, like it might just pick up for you. I don't know. I don't really. I would encourage you to just not like feel bad about it, and maybe don't judge yourself around others, or if you do, use it to encourage yourself. Like maybe like if everyone else seems to be understanding, after the class, go up to the teacher or to a student who does understand and say, hey, do you understand this grammar point? Like I think I get it, but like. I'm a little confused on when I can use it. Like, how do you use it? Like, what is it? And pull out a notepad and like just listen to them. That's one of the biggest things. For me personally, if I'm in a class and everyone understands something and I don't, it bugs me so much that I'll write over my notepad like ask. And at the end of the class, I'll go straight to the teacher. And if he doesn't have time, I'll call a friend or like find out. Or then your last resort at the end of the day, you can always use the internet. You can always go on Google, and you might not find everything you're looking for, but it's a good place as a last resort. I would encourage you to really just keep pushing for that, and I wish you good luck because it's a really fun language. It's not for everyone, and you may decide that it's not for you, but I encourage you to try. Let's see. Going through, fax machines are everywhere in Japan. Yes. There are fax machines in Japan. When I was mentioning with Mike that Japan to me feels like the 60s, maybe it's more like the 70s or the 80s. Like everyone still smokes cigarettes. Gender roles are still very split. Marijuana is very illegal. And there are fax machines, yeah. And there's home phones. Like my homestay had a home phone. They all had cell phones, but they also had a home phone. It's just interesting. If you go into like a Japanese office, it feels like you're walking back into like if you've ever seen Office Space. That movie from the 90s, it feels like that. It's like walking back 15, 20 years into like an office. It's interesting. If you guys ever get the chance to meet Eric, take the opportunity. He's such a nice guy. Has great stories about Japan too. Oh, Jolin, dude, what's up? Yeah, this is there's a guy in the comments. His name is Jolin. What's up, man? I hope you're still here. If not, like, wow, good to see you. He had met with me in New Vegas. While I was in Vegas, I posted last minute on Instagram, like, hey, I have 2 hours before I'm going out. Does anyone want to meet? And no one responded, but Jolin did. Well, some people were like, I want to meet, but I can't, things like that. Jolin was like, I actually live really near there. I'll come meet you. And he met me at the hotel, and we had a great time. We had a couple drinks, and He was really, really, really nice. So thanks, Jolan. Good to see you, dude. Hope you're doing okay. That's really cool. By the way, if anyone, maybe, I think this would be a cool idea. I know my channel's really small. I'm aware that it's tiny. Like, don't worry, I'm not like thinking I have this huge thing. But because it's small, I think it's cool to promote things like meetups and stuff. I'm gonna be. Sorry, I'm just looking for the chat here. There it is. If anyone's gonna be in New York for New Year's, let me know. I would love to set up, like, not on New Year's night because I'm gonna be, I kind of have plans with my own friends and stuff. But if you guys have any availability during that week, message me on Instagram. I wish I had the graphic, but because I'm doing it live, I don't have it like set up. But it's at emart756, EMART756. If you message me on Instagram, I get those messages. I see YouTube comments too, but Instagram messages like come up instantly. So it's a lot easier. If you want to get a direct message to me, let me know. I think that'd be really fun. Even if it was just like a couple people and you want to grab a drink, and just talk and like share stories and stuff. Like, it's just fun. That's all it would be. Just be like this. Someone said big fan, but duty calls, gotta go. Thank you for watching. Everyone was saying thanks to Mike. Mike was really nice. That was a lot of fun. I had a blast. He loved to talk. Someone talking. I think Eric should get a Twitter. Here's the thing about Twitter, man. I don't know. I'm gonna go off for like 5 minutes here. I have a Twitter. You can follow it if you want. It's at the same as my Instagram. It's emart756. I don't use it. And I mean, maybe I should. And a lot of people suggest, like, if you're a YouTuber, you must use Twitter. That's the only way you can engage with your fans directly. One thing I heard that eventually YouTube is actually going to be incorporating kind of a social media thing where you can direct with your viewers a little bit more. I'm really excited to see that come into play because, for example, like last week, my stream or my podcast was delayed by about 3 days because my computer literally broke. So I had to reinstall Windows and like redo everything. So some people on like Instagram and on my comments were asking like, dude, where's your podcast? Why is it late? And it was so frustrating for me not being able to like update people like just really quick. Hey guys, having computer issues. Might be a couple days. Sorry for the delay. That's all I wanted to say. And I couldn't get it out. I mean, I could post a video, but I'm not going to post a whole video and let it get a bunch of views just for like a really quick update. So yeah, Twitter would be great for that. But I don't have a lot of Twitter followers. I don't really get Twitter. Like, I just don't, like, I don't find it fun. Like, people, like, I love Instagram. At first, I didn't get it, but I love it. I didn't get Snapchat at first. I love it. Someone teach me why Twitter's fun. Why is it fun? Am I following the wrong people? Like, I go on Twitter, and it's just, like, advertisements and politicians. And, like, I don't even know what it is. Like, I followed some celebrities that I like. But even then, it's just, like, bullcrap. I'm just like, what is it? I don't know. I really don't get it. Maybe I'm just... I don't think I have enough friends that use it. Like, none of my friends that I know really use it a lot. So I don't just see like posts from like people I care about. It's like just celebrities. And I'm just like, I don't know. I don't get it. Yeah. I feel like, like the old men with like technology, Twitter's my old man like situation. It's like the one application that I'll just never really get. But maybe you guys can help me out or you show me who to follow. I don't know. I mean, if you guys all follow me, I'll start using it. But I used to plug it on my channel, but I don't anymore because I don't use it. Let's see. You inspire the hell out of me, Eric. Thank you. Well, thank you. I hope it does because I've become, my whole like kind of, I guess, journey the last couple of years studying Japanese and going to Japan has been, due to inspirations myself from like other YouTubers and things like that. So if I'm encouraging anyone, I saw one comment earlier saying that they applied for a fall term study abroad. That is so cool to me. Because just like Mike said, we kind of had like a really serious talk there at the end, just saying like, I mean, it was just, we were in the moment and we're just like, we're here, dude. This is it. This is so cool. This is everything we would dreamed about this moment, to be able to just hang out at a Japanese temple, have some sake, some beer, and listen to Nujabes and watch the trees, the sakura trees and the birds. And it was just, for us, it was really cool. And we both had really similar interests in Japan. So that's why it worked out, I think, a lot. Some more questions. Let's see. Do you think studying abroad is fun for an adult that is older, like 27 years old? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's, you're going to be older. So as long as you can like deal with a lot of your friends being like 21, you mean that's your only issue. I knew some people that were like 28 actually. And they were definitely older, but they didn't look old. I am 24, but I look like I'm 18. So like it was kind of one of those things. Like I was able to interact with the younger kids that were like 20 and 21 like just fine. It wasn't a problem. You know, I wish I was younger. I guess like because college students wouldn't be older. Like I wish they were all my age, but I was in their college. So I'm my degree has changed a few times. That's why I'm still studying at 24. But this is my last year. I'm really excited. I'm going to exchange to Japan next year. It says BJNI Bajini. Congratulations. That's really cool. I hope you enjoy it. I had a question, but I have to go eat dinner. Sorry about that. People said they love Rocket League. I love Rocket League. That's a fun game. I'm terrible at it, but it's really fun. Is the drinking culture the same for girls in Japan? Yes and no, but yes. More or less, yes. A lot of those stories we were telling about, like, us going out crazy and, like, having fun and doing the Nomi Hodai, like, the all-you-can-drink plans and, like, things like that, we almost always had girls in our groups. So, yes, you, as a girl, you will absolutely have a good time. But obviously, I have to give the basic, generic, if you're abroad as a foreign girl and you're drinking, please be careful. And I'm not saying that as, you know, sexism or anything like that. But in Japan, gender roles are very specific. And it is a very known thing for Japanese males to harass foreign women. And it is a thing. So please be careful. I heard some stories about some people getting a little, like, harassed a little bit, but not, like, nothing as far to the degree as, like, rape or anything like that. But there were some sexual harassment cases at the school, actually, just with people, like, getting creeped out. But nothing, like, violent. So you should be fine, but, you know, I just got to give that disclaimer. Just be safe. Did I do a full year in Japan? Yes. いつ日本に来るんですかって。そう、清美、赤羽。また来年の、秋に、戻ろうと思ってるんですけど、なんか仕事一つ見つけて、就職しそうですね。僕は、英語の先生になりたいんですけど、友達一人、なんかアメリカの英語の塾の学校とかで仕事してるので、僕は、あいつに、あの人に、ちょっと相談して、入りそうですね、僕は。そう、これから、なんか、入れるように、入られるなんていう、入られるように、日本語と、勉強とか、卒業するまで、頑張るわ。So I'm going to be going, the plan is to go back next fall if I can, with visa stuff and stuff. I mentioned with Mike, I'm not going to go into detail with it right now, because it could be embarrassing if it falls through, but I have a friend that works at an English school that may have a job for me, and I'm really, really, really excited if that works out. If not, you know, what can you do? But the way they were talking about it, I got to meet their boss, and they were really promising. But again, I'm not going to go into details now because nothing is, like, set in stone or solidified. But they asked if I'm interested in a position. I said yes. They said, we'd love to hire you. Contact us when you graduate. So I'm going to be going back there hopefully before I graduate, possibly for spring break. If I do, I can do more video blogs and meetups and things like that. I'm really excited for that. I'd only go back for like a week, but I'd go to meet the boss and stuff. Hopefully that works out. Hopefully I'm not just making myself look dumb, because if it falls through, I'll be really, really, you know, bummed. But I'm trying to keep my hopes at a medium level so that I don't get too excited and then too bummed out. But if it does work out, I'm basically going to be going back and working and living really close to where I was studying abroad, which would be a dream for me. So that's kind of what I'm working toward right now. But whether or not it's going to happen, we're going to see. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just looking through these comments here. I know it can be like disheartening. Again, I really, really want to show you guys. I just want to pull, like, right here. Right here. I want the comments. And in the old version of the software I'm using, it's called OBS. It's really easy, but for some reason they really, really goofed it up. Like, I know there's only like 15 minutes, so I kind of don't want to do it. Yeah, I think I might just wait till next time. But I think I could do it, but it would take me like 5 minutes to, like, even just to get Mike's video in the thing. I had to, like, type in the dimensions of his box, and, like, it was just weird. So let's just not. I'll just put it back. I'm going to put it back over here. Okay. But I would love to have you guys be able to pop up here, because it's kind of fun seeing yourself on the stream, I think. The length is nice, they said. Thank you. It's so fun listening to these. You're so charismatic, Eric. Thank you. I feel like I can be a little over charismatic, and I'm not trying to be forceful. This is how I am. I love to talk. I can find myself being the guy at like a party or something that talks a little too much. So for me, having like a podcast where I can just go bleh, and no one can like get offended, or like my job here right now is just to tell you, like, to talk, and I have the mic. For me, it's pretty nice because I like to talk a lot. Let's see. Yo, just saying hi from Vegas. Yes, Jolin. Yes, that was Jolin again. Thank you so much. I'm watching your video from Japan. Here's one thing. Thank you very much. I'm reading their name in kanji, and it's reading names in Japanese is one thing that I haven't really like practiced, because it is like a whole nother thing, because you'll see those kanji and you know what they mean. Like I'm looking at the kanji and it's like nakaki, sho, tsugi, and then the last one I don't really know. But like that's true when you're like reading, but like when you're using it for names, it's almost always a certain thing. So if you see it, you can know. So I just need to basically spend a few months like really looking at names and like the English translation, or like the furigana, like how to pronounce it. Like okay, I know how to say that, because it's just kind of, it's, you know, if you grew up in Japan, you as a kid, you just figure it out. You just see, like, as a kid, that's probably the first kanji you learn is your name, and you see your friend's name and you learn how to write their name, and you know what I mean? They just develop it naturally. So for me, it's one thing that I'm very weak in. So I apologize, I can't read all the names, but it's yeah, I'm not even gonna try to read that. Play Final Fantasy 15. I want to so bad. I'm not even a big Final Fantasy 15 kid, but I've been watching some videos on that new game. I don't have an Xbox One or a PS4. Is it on Xbox One? I think it is. I know it's on, no, maybe not. I know it's on PS4. I was considering getting a PS4 just to play that game, to be completely honest, because it looks really fucking fun. But I don't have a lot of free time, unfortunately. It's finals week this week, and after finals week, I'm going to be doing a little traveling, a little like having fun, but mostly prior to going to New York and doing Christmas with the family, I'm going to be sitting right here editing, because I want to do there's like I said, I have like 18 videos that I haven't done, and now that it's Christmas, there's some videos last year on Christmas time that I made with my friend Masa, I think some with Mike too, and then my other friend Brett from the camping videos. If you've seen those, some people were mentioning that we all went on like this winter trip, and it was so much fun, and I can't believe I haven't made the video yet. It's just because it's killing me that I haven't been able to post it, because it's so cool. So that's the one I'm really excited for. I think it's going to be a 2-part video, because it's really long. We went for like 2 or 3 days, and my friend showed me this part of Japan that was just beautiful. We were like the only ones there. It was covered in snow. We stayed in a traditional hotel and went into the hot springs, and it was magical. Like, it was great. Magical is probably the wrong word with a bunch of dudes, but you know what I mean. I think anything is fine as long as we get to learn a little bit about Japan and your experiences there. I think it says Killer Stealer, I think, regarding to the length. So yeah, thank you. I know it's long, and for those interested, it's probably entertaining, but I know for someone who's like busy and is like, fuck, that podcast was 3 hours. Like, I can't listen to that. But I think that's why we're going to do a little bit of both. Like, every week we'll do at least an hour one, and then occasionally we'll do like a live stream like this. And these live streams might become a little bit more impromptu too. I can maybe do like the normal like podcast. So for those who just like the podcast, you can expect those. The vlogs still come out, but just, you know, a little bit more rarely. They will come out though. Like, believe me, they will get done. And I will, you know, try to find a way to get them done a little quicker, or at least maybe not quicker, but you know what I mean? Like, try to find time to be able to edit them. If I was just living and working in Japan full time, that would be very helpful, because I'd have a set schedule. So I could set maybe like 2 days a week. Like, okay, this is my day I'm going to edit. This is my day I'm going to post the video, you know, whatever. Learning languages is hard, but fun. Especially the most hardest language in the world. Japanese for an American is definitely one of the hardest languages to learn. So I've heard that, and probably like Chinese. Chinese looks impossible. That's a language, I'm personally not interested in learning, but you'd have to really be motivated, I think, to learn that. What should I do in Osaka other than shopping? Says Isaac. I went to Osaka, and that's all I did was shopping, so I'm sorry. I can't tell you anything more than that. I basically walked around with a friend who took me to some tourist spots, and we shopped, and I bought some stuff. I bought a kendama. Do you know what a kendama is? It's this thing. Give me one sec. I'm going to throw on the Jeopardy music. I'm going to go find this thing. One sec. All right, I found it. um, I found this thing here. It's called a kendama. People probably know it, actually. I didn't know what it was before I went. But it's basically like this old school toy in Japan. Pretty sure it's like Edo status. I could even show you like fucking my terrible skills here. But my homestay, the kid living in the homestay, he loved kendama. And so I bought one. And we did this, like, we would like practice together all the time, and he was sick. He would basically, it was kind of like jump rope where he'd sing a song and he'd like dun, 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 and the whole point of it is to try to get the ball like from here to here to here or to here, like in the coolest way possible. And it's also possible to get it back on the like there's a stem here and you can like bounce it and then like throw it up and land it in the hole. It's insane. So, I mean, I could show you like my rough, but he would basically sing a song like dun 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 dun, and he would do it like that. It was really, really cool. But this is basically it. This is gonna be embarrassing, but here's this. So you basically go from here to there. See that? So maybe if I stand up, it'd be easier. Hold on. You kind of want to like bend your knees or whatever. This is so funny. I can't believe I'm doing this like in front of people. But you just go like that to that and like that and the dun 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 dun. Oh fuck! So I already messed it up. But like, it's really hard. But for those that are good at it, you kind of just figure it out. And then there's a cool trick you can do where basically you grab this, you spin it, straighten out the line, and then you can land it on the stem. Oh, fuck. One more. Oh, that one was so close that it's worth a third try. Here we go. Oh, that's so embarrassing. I can't believe it. Basically, you want to just spin it really hard, straighten out the line so that it's not like spinning, and then you can throw it back on like that. Hey! So that's kendama. I bought that. The reason I'm talking about this, I bought this in Asakusa. For like it was like $20. I guess it wasn't that expensive. Loading new comments. あなたの英語すごく早いですね。ごめんね。僕は本当ですね。まあ俺の英語は早すぎると言われてるんですけど、マジで。俺もあまりなんか俺にとって聞きにくいと思いますが、すみません。多分僕の英語が分かったらうまくいきます。アメリカに。でも僕の英語は本当に早いですよ。すいません。I do speak really quick. Still here. Glad I saw the post. Best of luck. Congrats, man. Thank you, Jolin. What is your division in Rocket League? I don't know. Not good. People said I don't like Twitter. I don't do Twitter. It's fun with friends, I think. Okay. Oh, my comments just reloaded. I'm sorry. So like a bunch just popped up. Snapchat? Yeah, I have Snapchat. I guess you can follow me on there. If you want to follow me on Snapchat, it's also at emart756. I don't really promote it just because it's like, I don't know. But Snapchat's actually really cool too because you can post on the story mode or whatever. Instagram has that too, but I love Snapchat. I use Snapchat all the time, actually. Maybe you guys should start following me on Snapchat. Should I start, if I plugged my Snapchat, would you guys like follow it? Like, do you think that's something worth doing? I don't know. I feel like I post a lot of stuff on Snapchat that's like just between friends. It's kind of a personal, like I'll post like us like drinking and stuff. So it's like, maybe I don't want that on the internet, but like some of the more like tame stuff I can throw on my story or whatever. Yeah, it's at emart756 is my snap. Like, Snapchat. I think that's what it is. Yeah, I mean, I don't advertise it a lot, but if you guys do, that's pretty cool. That would be awesome. Let's see. 日本では Twitter はやってない方が Yeah, in Japan everyone uses Twitter. It's crazy. I have Line. For me that was good. It's just basically like instead of like text messaging in Japan, you just use Line. I discussed it before, but you don't look 24. I know. I'll be 25 in May. Isn't that nuts? I'm like an adult. It's weird. You better talk about the difference between the dialect. Yeah, Masa, that'll be a video for another time. I really want to make like a really detailed video about the Osaka dialect because it's really important. How long have we been going? Almost 3 hours. 3 hours is where we cut it, man. That's too long. I'm trying to use an app to communicate with Japanese people to practice and learn the language, but people seem to use it as a dating app when it isn't. Any recommendations for a useful one? In my experience, too, man, Tinder, Hello Talk, all that stuff is basically it ends up just being, yeah, it ends up becoming a dating thing. I think even in my experience, a lot of the matches I got were just like potential dating things. It wasn't very useful for me as far as like actual like chatting. It was just like I actually met a girl through that. Like we had talked and then I'd messaged her when I got in Japan, like, hey, I'm in Japan by the way, so I hope you have a good life. And she's like, oh, I go to your school. And so we met. And yeah. Yeah. Sorry. I'm really new to this whole like YouTube streaming. I used to Twitch, like I know how like twitch.tv works. It's another website for live streaming, more for like video games and stuff. Back when I was like younger, I used to kind of mess around with it. So I know how it works. But with like YouTube, there's all these like features and stuff I didn't even know about. It's pretty cool. Is it a good idea? Jub asks, is it a good idea to visit Japan for a month as a graduation trip after high school? Absolutely. I guess the only pitfall you'd have is if you're trying to drink. I'm not trying to encourage, I don't know how old you are, sir. Maybe you're a 21-year-old high schooler. I feel like I gotta be careful or something. But if you're trying to drink or whatever, you probably won't get carded at like 7-Elevens and stuff like that. But that's the only thing I could think of that would like, why you'd want to wait. You have to be 20 in Japan to be like an adult to like do everything. But you might run into issues with like hotels possibly. I don't know. I actually don't know. But like you maybe have your parents help you with the hotel and stuff. But like, that's the only thing I can think of. But to that effect, I don't really know because I was 23 when I went, so I didn't have any of those issues. One person says I'll be at Waseda University next year through Fresno. Wow, congrats. Waseda is a very, very prestigious school. I had a few friends that, if you've seen my really old videos with Yuki and Kay, the bigger guy Kay, they both went to Waseda, and they're very, yeah. I mean, that's a successful school. It's hard to get in. Let's say 80% of Americans only speak one language. I'd say that's true. Will you come back to your VR channel? Or is it dead? I don't know. It's not dead. Right now it is for sure. Someday, like if I move, okay, here's like the dream. I graduate from school. I go back to Japan. I'm working full time. I'm not making a whole lot of money, but I'm getting experience. I'm living in the country. I'm learning the language. I'm, getting stuff that I could put on a resume to get a better job. But I'm working full time so I can schedule out stuff like YouTube and things like that. And that could possibly mean that I'd also have time for the VR channel. Because the VR channel was also not very hard to edit. These videos, I do a lot of like storytelling with the vlogs, and they take forever. I love them though. I love them. I'll never stop. But they take a long time. But the VR ones, I can kind of just post like raw videos, kind of more like this, where it's like me talking and playing a game, and then I post it. So no, I wouldn't say it's dead, but right now it's going to be at least another like year or so until I get into that. And VR is going to get really cool because it's really getting popular. And I'm really happy to have been a part of like some of the first few to own it. That's actually another story I could tell. Maybe I already told it, but I was in a store in Japan, and they were playing my videos on their computers, like to advertise some virtual reality content. That was really cool. I was so excited. Was there a time when you lost motivation to keep learning Japanese or move there? Says Ryan. Not enough to like quit. No, I've had days where I just don't. Where I'm like, I'm not studying today. Like fuck that. Like it's. And I try to encourage people not to have those days, but it's life. You can't always do that. Yeah, I mean, there's times where you kind of lose motivation to study, as in like not quit, but I just like I'm not in the mood. I'm not learning anything today. Like tonight, for example, like even though I'm like having a beer and like hanging out with you guys, my plans is I have basically like homework and stuff that we did this term leading up to finals. All we have left is a test, but there's some grammar that I didn't fully understand. Like I didn't have time to study it or I missed it or something. So I'm going back tonight, and I'm making an effort lately to, because there's a few grammar terms I learned. I'm trying to spend one day studying each one, like one grammar term I'll do in a day. Like yesterday, I learned one. It's called nao. It's a grammar term you can use to say like furthermore, or also, or PS or something. When you're sending a message, you can say nao. So that's useful, really useful. It's a little bit more polite. You probably wouldn't say it, but if you're having like a speech or you're sending like a mass email to like a work party, you could use it. So that's really good. Hopefully you'll get a job there. Thank you, Kill. That's Kill Stealer. I don't. Dale says I don't think you should buy any games because you'll have less time for videos. I agree. That's why I don't play video games right now. And I would call myself a gamer, and that I used to like. I'm not like a huge. Well, I am a nerd. Like I like computers and like editing and things like that. But I'm more of a nerd toward video games, if anything. I'm not a big anime guy. Trying to think of the nerdy stuff. I'm not into sci-fi like Star Trek or Star Wars very much. Like I mean, I like the movies and stuff. Like I'll watch them, but like I'm not a huge nerd for it. I like medieval stuff more, I guess. It sounds kind of nerdy, but I'm really into like Lord of the Rings. I like that. And I love video games. I love video games. So while I was in Japan, I did a lot of shopping for video games. And I actually, behind me, someday I'd love to just show you. It's not like a lot. It's something to brag about. But I bought like Pokemon in the box for like $5 and Mario Party on N64, things like that. And they're in Japanese, so that's pretty cool. It's fun. Smash Bros. Too. I love games. But the last couple of years, I've just been so busy with life and school, and I think it's a good thing. It's kind of a maturing thing, but I don't discourage people from playing games. I think they're great, and you know, now that they're online, they're a lot more sociable, and video games are like have a very special place in my heart, at least. I'd say in my life, but right now I don't play games at all. I always like feel like, oh, I have like an hour I can play a game, and I end up just like falling asleep. Or I'll play like Rocket League because there's nothing to it. You just play for 2 minutes and turn it off. But if it's a game like Zelda or like The Witcher, where it has like a long story, I simply can't bring myself to sit down and play it right now, which is a bummer. It's sad, but someday, you know, we're working in life to a point where I can comfortably like work and like do all the things I want to do. So hopefully someday. Let's do a few more questions, and I think I'm going to end it because I know this is extremely long, and I apologize. People who have been listening, they say it's entertaining, and I'm sure it is. But it's long, and my voice is actually starting to hurt. So I'm just going to do a few more questions here. Let's see. Oh, I've actually heard that. Mason Peach here says that Mandarin, like Chinese, the sentence structure grammatically is a lot closer to English than Japanese. I've actually heard that too. I think the hard thing, the reason I say it's hard is it seems like it's a language that's tonal, in that like words can change depending on like the pronunciation. And I've heard that it's really difficult, and it's all in kanji, the Chinese characters. So Japanese, they borrow characters from China and they use them, but not every character is always kanji. Like titles and stuff are, but like you'll use a kanji and then like hiragana and katakana after that to like support it. But Japanese is very, very hard. I think once you learn Japanese, it's easier to go on. Korean's very similar to Japanese, so if you know Japanese, you can learn Korean very easily. The grammar is like the same. It's kind of like a native English speaker learning Spanish, or I've heard German's also fairly easy because they're both Germanic. I remember seeing grade school students in giant groups at the mall playing kendama. Yeah, kids love kendama in Japan. It's an old toy, but it's great. It's like kids still love it. It's really fun. Let's see, a couple more, and then I'm gonna wrap it up. Lots of people just browse stories when they want to kill time. I would definitely watch your Snapchat stories, provided it's like everyday stuff like memes in Japan. Yeah, I think once I got back in Japan, that would be a really cool time to get back into like Snapchat and post like on a story for you guys to look at. Okay, I'll say that. Maybe I will start plugging my Snapchat then, at least prior to Japan. Right now, I probably wouldn't post a lot. But in Japan, I'll be like on the train to work every day, so maybe I'll see like a cool something, or like, you know, that'd be fun. Or it's like a meal I'm eating. That'd be really cool. What college do you go to in Portland? Portland State. What's my birthday? May 6th. I have a friend from Kansai living in Canada. If I can compare it to an accent, I guess it's like an Australian accent. Yeah, it's a different... It's not so much an accent, but more of a dialect. Like the words they use are different. There is an accent there, I guess, but not... it's more of like word choices. Like it's very structurally... Not structurally, but like... They just swap out words, basically. One other person in here says they're also staying at Waseda, so they're like trying to talk. Oh, Nakaki Kojiro. ありがとうございます。直してくれて、教えてくれて。でも僕の英語が分かって、すごいですね。びっくりしてる僕は。本当に。すごいですね。早いでしょ、僕は。早いでしょ。英語が聞きにくいと思いますが、すごいですね。やばい。So the girl's name I was trying to pronounce earlier, she translated it. It was Nakaki Kojiro. Nakaki Kojiro. So I'll have to remember that. Oh, I remember like okay, so the ro is like in is that the ro in like fuck, what's it in Doraemon? No, that's Nobita. Isn't it the same kanji though? Nobita. How do you spell it? Sorry, I'm really going off on like tangents here. This is so like Nobita-kun. How do you spell it? Nobita-kun. Oh, that's different. It's no, it's not even close. I'm sorry. Hasukashi is. Never mind. Not even close. It's like the one for like futoru, like to become big or fat. It's totally different. Not even close. 5 a.m. here. Legend of Fat says I'm out, but he's going to bed. Thank you for the podcast. Thank you. Thank you. Well, it looks like Mike was still in the chat. How about earthquakes in Japan? Man, this is fun. I think we need to do another live stream where it's just me. Because Mike was on and we were able to swap so many stories, but we weren't able to get involved with the chat. So there's a lot of things that a lot of questions you guys have that are actually really, really good. So maybe we'll do another like live one and it's just like, hey, Q&A time with Eric. Like ask me questions. That would be really cool. But that was really fun with Mike. I'm really glad we did that. It's just that's why this is now really long. Is I'm having fun looking at your guys' questions. I don't want to have to make you guys go to bed or anything, but I promise this is gonna be over in like 5 or 10 minutes because I need to stop. If I don't answer your questions, guys, please save them for next time because I will get to them and we will do another podcast. Again, we're kind of winging this tonight and it's kind of a good experiment and like social experiment. So thank you guys for the feedback. Eric, another great podcast. I hope you're successful. Please do a great job supporting you. Ganbatte kudasai, says Killer Stealer. Thank you so much, dude. You posted a lot of comments. I appreciate it. Some people followed me on Snapchat. This looks like the last serious one, so I think this might be the last one. Varnita says, hey, I'm in my final year of engineering. I have some free time last semester, and I had some free time last semester, and I did a N5 course, which is like there's 5 levels, N1 to 5, and 5 is the lowest one. N5 course with a home tutor, but after July I got busy and the teacher left. Okay. I can't continue alone. Yeah, that's really sad. I wish I had like some immediate advice for that. It's more just probably generic, but just I hope you can find some other way that you can study. I'm assuming you're a girl. If you're a guy, I apologize, but I hope you can. Good luck. Hey, Eric, are you interested in some other languages in the future, like Spanish or French? At the time, no. But after learning how fun it is to learn a language and how hard Japanese is, I think learning an easier language would be very welcomed at this point. I don't really care for German, but I think it would be cool to go to Germany and know some German. I don't know. I don't really know. Not right now. Maybe Korean, but even then, I don't really have an interest right now. Masa's like, you're too fast. Yeah, that's Nobita. Oh, yeah, like more like Momotaro. You're right. So that's where I've seen that. Yeah, and you can do... Okay. I see. We're just looking at kanji and they're explaining it. So kanji's really fun too. It's just hard. You have to know 1, how to write it, 2, how to like read it if you can remember reading it, and then there's like different readings for each one. So it's like fuck, it's a lot, but it's really fun. And they all have meaning. It's not random. Like each kanji will like actually mean something. So if you can like remember like a word, like the spelling of a word might include some kanji, and if you know the meanings of the kanji, you can like make a sentence. Like for example, like sen for train station. The kanji for it is like, I mean, I guess I could show you, but let's see, where is it at? Fuck. Sen. It's this one. So that's like train station kanji. That means like sen, and if you look at the kanji itself, it's broken up into 3 parts. So the left side is a word in Japanese, it's ito. It means like thread. The top one is shiro, which is white, and the bottom right is water. Mizo or Mizu. So if you like remember like okay, the train station is hangs along a white thread next to the water. That's how you can remember it. So you go like okay, the thread ito, shiro, it's white, and Mizu water. You can do that, and that's how I do it. Not for all of them because you would never remember them all. It's a lot, but it's cool in that sense. You're like okay, and that one. I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but sometimes they do. Like the water ones, like I don't know, it's cool. Hey Eric, I come late. Mariko, Marichao. Sorry if I'm getting your name wrong, but thank you for joining. Thank you for chatting. I'm so glad to have caught up the notification on the phone when you went live. I look forward to the next one. Thank you, Mason. I appreciate it. Q&As would be so fun for the future. Yeah, let's do a Q&A sometime. I think that'd be good. I think you guys have a lot of questions and a lot of viewers have questions. I think it'd be good to make a Q&A video. A live one would be even cooler. Well, maybe, yeah. I think doing both. I want to make one where it answers like generic questions like, why do you study Japanese? And I answer it like a video. I know Abroad in Japan does those sometimes. He's a YouTuber that I really like. You should check him out for sure. Yeah, Abroad in Japan. And hey, congrats. BJNI says he or she recently took the N2 test, which is like the second to hardest in Japanese, and it was hard, but that he or she thinks they passed. So good job. Seriously, that's really good. I think someone asked earlier if I think I could pass the N2. No way. I think I'd be more like 4 or 3. My writing is so poor. It's not very proficient. I think I'd be more in the 3 level. Well, if you're still a high school student, this is the Kojiro, right? Kojiro? Kojiro, if it says that he or she is still a high school student, that's really impressive if your English is that good. And if 僕の英語が分かったら上手やで。あなたは very, very good. すまん、大阪弁で。All right, you guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up. People are saying, thank you, you're a bro. Thank you, Ken. Love the podcast. Enjoyed it. West. People said I love the podcast, but I love the live stream much more. Cool. Yeah, when I said sen, it means line. I mean, it's not station. Station is like eki, but line, it's like the line of the train is what I meant. Like there's different lines or whatever. That's what I meant. But singing that was like when I see you. I'm 24 a minute. All right, that's that. I need to end this now for real. I said I'm gonna end it like a million times. It's been 3 hours and 10 minutes and counting. So thank you guys seriously so much for listening. People said that this is more fun than the podcast. If you guys enjoy this more than the podcasts, I don't know. I mean, I want to do both. I think it's good to do both. But if people decide that they like this more than the podcast, or this will become the podcast. Because I guess it is a podcast in a sense. It's almost like Joe Rogan has a podcast that goes for hours, but he interviews people and he's really professional and he has like an official thing. If I can get more guests that want to come on and chat, I would love to do this. This was, to be honest, this was much more fun for me because it's just easy. I just go live and post it and boom. But, I want the content of the channel to also be as high as I can make it while still be entertaining. So I think mixing these with like the podcast, some cooking videos, and the vlogging is going to be a really cool few things that I can juggle and keep the channel going, and some just different things to explore. I'm glad to explore this. And this is the first time we've done a live stream, especially at 3 hours. So thank you guys so much. I'm just looking, we need to bring some sponsors in on this. Yeah, we do. I know Bill Burr does one and he always has sponsors. He's doing Loot Crate and shit. I need a Loot Crate sponsorship. Everyone has that. Give me the loot. He always says that. It's so funny. Give me the loot. So we need to get some sponsorships on here. Just make streams every day and we can all become good friends. Yeah, that sounds good to me. Maybe that I think what would be cool is if I could get away with like doing like an almost everyday live stream of just like chatting or like I guess we could play video games. I don't really want to make that on this channel though, but like doing these enough that it's like, oh, he's like a live streamer, but he's also a vlogger who posts like travel videos in Japan from time to time, and they're really cool. That'd be fun. I like that. It's fun. It's just a different avenue. It just seems like I feel like live streaming and YouTube for me have been so like separate. Like Twitch TV is this whole like live kind of different thing. They go for long hours, but they're live, so they're fun. So you want to watch them and you get engaged. But YouTube is kind of like you make the best video you can, you post it and hope it does well. So I've been trying really hard not to do live streaming, and that I feel like I'll bring the quality of the channel down. But if you guys still enjoy it, one guy just said you're still streaming. Holy shit. Yes, I am. I'm about to sign off though because yes, holy shit, indeed, it's been really long. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. No, I do not know any Japanese streamers on Twitch. Um, I would like to. I'd like to. I watch a lot of YouTubers. If you need any recommended YouTubers to watch, like vloggers, there's one. His name is Hajime Shacho. If you just type in like Hajime, that'll just put, you type that in alone, it'll pop up. He's like one of the biggest YouTubers in Japan. And I use him just to try to like when maybe if I'm going to bed, I'll just throw it on just to try to like it's good like listening practice because his Japanese is probably like mine where it's really well my English where it's really fast. Yeah, really good. All right, you guys. Well, thank you guys so much. This again was the very first live video podcast. Some things I still want to polish up. Some things I think we can make a lot better. But I had a really good time. I had a good time having Mike on the thing. So thank you guys. Please say thank you to him and please check him out on his YouTube channel because he could use a little love there too. And he has a really cool video of him in Osaka and it's where I was with him. So it resonates with me as well and it's really cool. If you guys like the podcast, please leave like this video will get posted to YouTube. You can leave comments on that video or send me like an Instagram post at Instagram. Check the description for that because I don't have the graphics ready for the stream because I'm unprepared. The intro and outro also not perfect. And I still got to figure out all this like graphic stuff because I want to get it cool. But I think this is really fun. I really enjoyed this. So thank you guys so much. I guess, yeah, if you guys have any more questions that I didn't answer, save them until next time. This was this week's podcast. This is Eric Abroad with the Eric Broadcast signing off. I'll see you guys next week. I had a good time. You guys have a good night. And I'll see you guys next time. じゃあ、また見てくれてありがとうございました。おやすみなさい. Bye, everyone. Oh, and I got to do the outro here. Here we go. So, boom. Hey.